It's kind of funny that I was about to call this like the post free agency show when like technically the like free agency period hasn't really started yet. It's a lot of agreed to terms deals that happen the minute the legal tampering period opened. But hey, it's better for us. Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time live show for us to get to talk through all the deals, and we will talk through them. Jeremy, do you want to spend the first 10 to 15 minutes talking about the Panthers' key linebacker signings, or it's up to
We'll
you?
wait for Dynasty Jake to pop in.
There we
I
go.
know he'll show up.
Yeah.
So
He'll call
be
it out, too.
How about Jaden Phillips?
Let's go. No, it's pretty man, it was pretty juicy. It was funny, the thumbnail I made for this, I had to remake like 2 times after players that were on the thumbnail ended up signing with teams. Shout out to Ken Walker.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I need to keep adding more players to this thumbnail or change out the big ones because there's a lot of action going on.
It's juicy, man. It feels like the NBA, like I
was about to say
all the moves, stars, pick swaps for, meaningful fantasy players on our side, and defense too. Max Crosby, that's a huge one. What's good? Diaz.
Snip snap.
Coop Cooper. All right, let's I say we jump right in. Let's not waste any time. Let's take it over to the free agency sheet. Right here, bang. The free agency sheet. We're not gonna I'm not gonna worry about this full breakdown. This is like tough for my eyes to look at, but I tried to put together all of the key fantasy moves and we can look at it positionally. And I think you want to start QBs, or do you think you want to start a little juicy?
We can start there.
All right. Sorry, QBs. Malik Willis, I think, was the first the ball we were waiting to drop from the free agency period. Was it going to be the Cardinals?
The Jones tag came in earlier,
right?
And I do think the Willis signing, I don't know if this is true because it's on Twitter. But I did see someone say that the Jets offered him more money, and he chose the Dolphins because he's like, the Jets sound sketchy. And I know too the Cardinals were supposedly in on Willis as well. So it sounds like, I think ultimately what it was 4 years, which is probably 3 years guaranteed, is why he ended up in Miami versus Arizona or the Jets. But I don't have league sources or anything.
Yeah.
But that would be my intel there. How do you feel about Willis in Miami?
It's funny. The first thing that comes to mind is the content brain mixing in with the fantasy brain, that this is the stats page. So what we can do is pull up the stats for the players. So right here, I can type in Malik Willis, pull it up on the screen, and what we're going to see is not a lot of games over the past couple seasons. It's off of like a pretty strong 4-game sample size last year, and obviously Jordan Love injured the previous year with the Packers. Like some good showings. There's a legendary Will tweet. My brain says Aiden Hutchinson, but my heart says Malik Willis early on in the process. I was big on the Liberty quarterback. But for us, for fantasy purposes, like rushing, even in garbage situations, I think like the floor that he should have is pretty exciting. I think like in terms of price wise, somebody sent me a text. Shout out to Colton. He anytime I put a player on the block, I'm getting a text. Not a sleeper DM, not anything in the chat, text message. What's the Malik Willis price? And I said I can move him for, I have a pretty strong QB room too. And in those kind of leagues where I'm not wanting to hold on to, the 2-ish years I'm expecting to have of, decent low end QB1 production, I said like a random first on teams where I have pretty strong quarterbacks. I'm fine moving off of Willis for it. But I think that's a fair price for, a young quarterback that's getting a shot that's played pretty well. Like it hasn't just been the rushing and like some high fantasy outputs. Like he's made some throws, man. He's I think developed from the Tennessee Titans game. If you're looking at Malik Willis film, deciding if you want to buy, I would watch the Packers tape. I would not watch the Titans games.
Yeah, and I mean I think too, like someone else that's also on this list and a slightly surprising signing, but with the Tua dead money on the Dolphins roster, I think a lot of this is we'll take the slightly cheaper deal. I kind of thought he would get a bigger deal, to be honest. I feel like it's a pretty good bargain, all things considered, and they can work on this rebuild and see if they have Willis as someone that they can develop and kind of not throw them right in the fire because everyone expects the Dolphins to stink because they have $100 million over 2 years of dead money that they can't really do anything with. So I mean, I enjoy it. Like I mean, I echo everything you said. It will be interesting. Part of me is like the backup quarterbacks, especially backup quarterbacks that have the rushing upside. We've seen it many times of like, oh, they come in, they have like 1 or 2 games, and then they go back to the bench. And I was like, man, they're good. They're good. I mean, he didn't have a rushing upside. It kind of reminds me of like, is he more of like a Matt Flynn type where it's like, oh man, like he had those like 4
Dang.
games, like he might be the next Aaron Rodgers, and then a team signs him, and you know they end up getting Russell Wilson, so it worked out for the Seahawks. But you know, like the sample size is so small, I don't want to invest too heavily in. And certainly if I have them and I don't need them, this to me is probably the safest off ramp you're going to get because it's either he becomes like Bo Nix value or he becomes dust.
Yeah.
And right now you're looking at like on Dynasty Daddy trade values, he's valued between the 112 and the 201 in this year's draft. And
Yeah.
I think if you get like a late first, any future first, I'm easily going to take that just because I can figure out quarterback elsewhere, and the volatility of if Willis turns into a pumpkin again could totally crater his value.
Yeah. I think I'd probably prefer future picks if I can versus like looking at late first in this class. Like I know it's kind of like the common dynasty thing that this class is weaker, but I think like the players I'd be excited about like having late first and taking shots on are like if Ty Simpson falls or something. And to me, it's like, okay, just give me the quarterback I know is starting, has shown fantasy production that I know can slot in my lineup. The one thing with Willis too, and this is like a thing for everybody. I know like whoever's in the Dynasty Daddy live stream chat is probably aware of Spotrac and really looking at contracts deeper than just the 3 years, 67 million, but it's only like 7.5 million dead cap after 2 years. So it really is kind of, we'll see, you know, just Justin Fields type 2-year big money. And then we'll see how things are looking after that. And we'll see the Dolphins.
It is a ride out the dead money. And then we make a commitment of, do we continue this or do we, you know, kind of go a different direction and have our full salary cap back.
Mm-hmm. All right. I don't know if I'm going to switch between all the screens all the time for all these, because obviously we have a ton to go through and I'm sure some will be quicker than others, but I'm going to read some of the names that he's around at the QB position. And I want to know, are you taking Malik Willis or Matthew Stafford? Contending team.
Contending team. Oh, that's tough, actually. I kind of lean Stafford contending just because I know what I'm going to get.
The floor.
But I also think there's also a world where I'm like, if I am not like a locked in 1 or 2 team, like top 2 contending team, just need the production, I can, you know, Stafford could retire, I'll be fine with. The Willis upside and also the longevity of like he's probably at least getting 2 years of actual play time, to me is a little bit more enticing, kind of more middle of the pack contender.
Yeah. I'm probably leaning Willis there just for the long-term upside. Like I think it would not surprise me at all if per game Willis outscores Stafford next year. And it isn't even like a Stafford was bad or, you know, whatever. Willis was insane and the Dolphins are, you know, the Texans that are making a playoff run. But I think it's just like the MVP season from Stafford last year. And he was like around 21 points per game. And I know we've talked about it before that like that after the top end stud rushing QB production per games, like when you get monster games from Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, Drake May, like that pocket passer quarterback, like what they have to hit for the production to be truly difference making consistently, I think I'll probably lean Willis there. I like this one. Coop Cooper, 12 team Superflex sold Willis and the 207 for 27 first. I have been big on using those second picks, like picks I have in the second round of this class to kind of tack onto to get like roster construction deals that I love. And this is one that I love, especially if you don't need them. I'm sure there's a ton of teams that have that were employing that any QB strategy, backups, turning that into first round picks.
The future 27s, man, they're already hyped up more than 26 right now. Like you're telling me once you're 6 months away from putting Jeremiah Smith in your lineup or putting all these top players into 27 class into your lineup, that pick is going to get steamed up, it will, even if it's a late pick.
Yeah. All right, we've got next up here. Let's go Geno, the deal that happened today. Going back. They wrote him
back.
They wrote him off. Back. He didn't write back. And then they wrote back and he signed the contract. Geno Smith. Hard to get too excited, I think, about another Jets quarterback. I want to be the pro Geno guy because I think that the Seattle stuff, there was a lot of like the advanced passing metric stuff that you look at in quarterbacks, like was pretty strong in Seattle. And then I think if it was a combination of scheme, offensive line, say what you will, Geno obviously.
Well, the Raiders last year were certainly a bad situation for a quarterback to perform in. So now this year, going to the Jets, he's got the same thing. So it's not like the Jets are going to be putting him in a good situation.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the thing is he's a guy. You feel decent enough of he's going to start. But to me, he seems like a tank commander. That's not too exciting. I mean, you obviously saw the Raiders were like just trying to get rid of him for anything.
What was it like?
The Jets were
late pick swap.
Panicking.
What was the trade?
Late pick swap. I think it was a six and a seventh or something. I'm surprised it's a 3-year contract, to be honest. After his performance, I thought he would get more of like a 2-year type deal, but I'm sure with the guaranteed money and all that, it's closer to that type of range. But I mean, it's a starting quarterback, so you need to roster him. But it is not great. I mean, you're just happy that Geno actually is in a spot where he's going to start.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have Geno.
And it doesn't preclude, is that the word? Did I use that right? Doesn't preclude the Jets from taking a quarterback. Because I think like somebody like Ty Simpson, one of the biggest knocks is that he doesn't have the experience in college. So I could definitely see them still taking a shot.
Yeah, it's not a big commitment.
Yeah, the Raiders are covering. I'm kind of taking a look at the contract. I didn't take too close of a look at the Geno contract, but from what I'm seeing, let me know in the chat if you any Geno contract experts out there.
We got our cap expert here.
It's looking like it was, the Raiders are covering $16 million of like the current contract compensation for 2026. Jets are only paying $3 million. Yeah, because I think that was like the Raiders contract was that big, 2 years, 75.
Yeah. Okay, that would make sense.
But yeah, no, all right. I don't know how much time we want to spend on the would you rather's with Geno's. Let's just do the straight up pick because I think that's more interesting. Treating Geno like Joe Flacco.
I will say I do think this tier list got maybe like 20 something players.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Your favorite backup quarterback versus Geno.
Conversations.
He's on the graphic. He's on the graphic for Jacoby Brissett reasons.
His hair.
Dude, he looks pretty.
The long flat hair.
We'll take a look in a second when we switch back to QB. But real quick,
I don't know if I'm feeling it.
What's the earliest pick in this class that you would send for Geno on a team where you were just like desolated at QB2? No QB2s at all that are starting for you. And you're like, I could get that Geno for pretty cheap and just lock in 12 to 15 points per game.
I mean, it's got to be like a third, like an early third.
Okay. I think
I'm also not
it's reasonable.
convinced it doesn't go bad, and then all of a sudden it's like, the coaching staff starting to flail. They're on the hot seat. Their team stinks. It's 2 years of this.
And I'm probably knocking on other doors with that pick too. Like I'd be curious about the Jacoby Brissett price. We'll talk about him in a second with Gardner Minshew signing there. And it sounds like the plans are for him to be the starter. Like there's a couple other names I think are a little bit more interesting for those later picks. But I think if you're talking about a third, I think most people aren't moving their starting quarterback unless they are seeing it like a Joe Flacco. Like obviously you get Flacco for a third every season that he's
I think realistically, like I probably don't need Geno Smith like week 1. And like I'd more
Hopefully
likely hold that third for the Joe Flaccos and just send it for that. Because what's the difference between Geno Smith on the Jets and random Jake Browning midseason? I mean, bad example since last year. He was a mess, but you get what I mean. One of those random type of quarterbacks that just pop up.
Mm-hmm. Wow, this is I'm gonna switch off this Geno screen. It's kind of freaking me out. Since the deal just happened, it hasn't like populated where this pulls from the Jets. So it's the free agent Geno, which I think is probably fitting. So we can go back to
That Geno is freaking you out.
we all right, real quick before we go on to the next one. I couldn't get Willis for the 107.
That's a little wild to me. I mean, I think that to me, I just move on.
Yeah, I could see. That's tough. Like, I kind of understand the, like, pick fear people have on both sides of trading for and trading away picks kind of in that range. Like, we've talked about penciling in the top 5 and then potentially 6 how you feel about Sadiq and, you know, potential first-round capital. But I kind of get it, but I don't know, man. Malik Willis, 107.
He's
Rookie,
had like 3 good
first round
games.
pick. You're getting a first round receiver, but no, I mean I've seen some. We can pull up on Dynasty Daddy. I saw Chris Olave for Malik Willis in a league, so he's
Some
definitely
people love him.
Yeah, I mean the rushing floor. You get 2 years of a QB that's going to run the ball. Sign me up. Maybe not for the 107.
Yeah, that's true.
But sign me up. All right, I don't know how much time you want to spend on the Daniel Jones. Obviously, this tag had happened before. I think some of these other, and there's a ton of juicy moves. We'll obviously talk about the Colts pretty soon with Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman when we get to QBs. But let's go to tags. And I don't want every week to be a anti Michael Penix show. I don't think this is like necessarily the.
Hey, I'm invested. I got like 80% exposure to Michael Penix, so I need him to work out.
I think obviously I think most people were expecting an Atlanta QB signing first just because of the Penix injury. Like teams do not want to be going into offseason training camp with just like nothing in the QB room, you know, behind a injured quarterback. So I kind of get it from that perspective, and pretty cheap for, you know, QB that's been a starter for, oh man, the red freaks me out. All these color schemes with these players on new teams. You got Tua in the Dolphins jersey with the Falcons background.
The Minshew with the Chargers with the long hair. I feel like I'm in like the Twilight Zone or something. I mean, with Tua, the thing that's funny to me about this whole thing is like, in theory, the Falcons should already have their backup quarterback solved with the giant Kirk Cousins contract, and the fact that they gave him that massive, fully guaranteed contract, and they're like, yeah, he's not someone that we feel confident rolling into next year with. It's not going to work out. We need to figure out a way to offload him or something like that. Is kind of just funny. I think Tua is a high caliber backup and works pretty well in that Michael Penix offense that is there. So I kind of like the signing, especially since Penix is someone that is injury prone. I hate to say it because Tua's kind of like the poor man's Kyler, where it's like, oh, well, like everyone's scared because the injury history, and you could kind of get him at a discount. And he's always been kind of a buy, even though he's not like an exciting player. I think he's probably the number one back I would really want to just target, because it's like we know he can at least be a below average quarterback, but that's an above average backup.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. What was it? What was the Falcons game? It always cracks me up, these moves. Yeah, they beat him 34-10. Tua went 20 for 26, 205, 4 touchdowns. I never think that those are like the deciding factors, but it does always crack me up a little bit where it's like, hey, maybe we should take a look at this guy. Like he kind of smoked us last year.
He's available.
But the other side of it too is obviously anytime there's a new head coach, like new decision makers in, you know, the offensive room, specifically at the head coach spot with Stefanski, it scares me a little bit more with like this kind of move tied to Penix, because obviously Penix is not Stefanski's guy. So I think there's just a little bit of fear. I don't know how much I want to go out and buy for those Geno prices, but
I don't feel too scared, to be honest, given his money. Like, to me, if it was like, whoa, they dropped a big contract on the backup quarterback, then I'd feel like, okay, like they're expecting him to really start. The fact that he's making $7 million a year as a quarterback is tiny.
Yeah, I mean, that is backup money.
That is definitely, I mean, that's Gardner Minshew money. So to to me, I'm not too nervous, but I do think he chose a good spot to go to, and that's probably why he took a little bit less money because he's like, I'm probably going to get a decent opportunity to play, and the weapons there in Atlanta should be good enough for me to showcase I'm still a functioning quarterback. Maybe someone else will give me a shot, or I'll be a journeyman quarterback for a little bit and make some good money off of that.
Yeah. Real quick, I'm gonna pop over. There's like we won't be able to touch on every single player in all these free agencies, but we are gonna try. But I don't want to leave the messages unread. I'm getting better at this, guys. We've got a 10-minute guarantee that your message will be pulled up on stream. How was that? What did they get?
Okay, start the timer. Start the timer.
You get you can join the Discord.
What
for
was
free.
that one company that was like?
It's already free.
If you order something and like we
like
don't
pizza?
get it to you in like 15 minutes, then like you get it for free.
I don't remember
like
what chain that was. Maybe that was just a pizza thing in like there was a Nathan For You episode on that, but I think that might just be something that happened in movies and TV shows to make
I want
funny
a
situations.
Nathan For You, but he's the GM of a football team.
Okay, I'm in. He's got to fix. We could probably get. Oh no, he's on to bigger and better things.
Got to fix the Jets.
All right, we got another one here. Traded away the 103 and Zach Charbonnet for Rice and Bucky Irving and a single quarterback. What do you think the risk level with Rice is? I mean, you're getting 2 bets. That's the nice thing about like versus the 103. Yeah. Like, 103 for Rice straight up is, I think. I probably would like, want to be holding on to the pick at this point versus Rice specifically. But I think that is like, if I saw that deal happen, I'd be like, I get it. That's fine.
Well, too, you're also tossing in Bucky Irving, which is like no screw up. Like to me, I'm like Zach Charbonnet, ACL injury, probably going to be out for the first half of the year. 103 in a 1 QB league. So we're talking probably QB2 or wide receiver 2 in the class, which could be a really good player. But you get 2 locked-in starters in a 1 quarterback league, which probably will lean more shallow, just from what I've seen with 1 QB leagues, is getting those wide receiver running backs is key. And the worst case for you is if Rashee Rice gets banned, but if he gets suspended or something, you still got Bucky Irving. And then all you got to do is you hope that Bucky Irving defeats Steelers legend and receptions leader Kenneth Gainwell.
Oh man, we are gonna. I was making that graphic and it hurt my heart putting that Kenny Gainwell money and contract and Tampa Bay logo behind him. We'll talk about it. But yeah, no, I don't think much more needs to be said about this deal. And it's the 103 too versus the 102. Like the thing with the 102 is you are potentially looking at a single quarterback, like a nuts landing spot for one of these receivers, whether it's Tate, Tyson, or Lemon, gets like, oh my gosh, like what a spot. This is awesome.
Like, Bills traded up or, I guess the Bills got DJ Moore, but still like
something. Yeah.
A spot like that. Yeah.
An
offense everyone wants.
Yeah, for sure. And too, you could be getting out of a bad situation. You get like Lemon to the Jets and Tyson to the Ravens or something. And it's like, people are a little sketched out about using the 103 picks on that versus what they could have traded it for. 14-team Superflex traded Henry, 27 first, second, and third to get Lamar and Adams. Won the league last year and only really have Caleb at quarterback. Yeah. Geez, people really want to be making trades in the offseason, huh? Moving your Lamar Jackson and Devontae Adams for... Is there another Lamar? Am I missing something here? Can somebody help me out? Is there a Lamar receiver?
No, I think he traded Henry at 27, first, second, third to get Lamar and Devontae Adams, right?
Yeah, my brain just can't process somebody doing this deal in a super flex league.
He didn't send Lamar. He got Lamar and Devontae Adams for Henry in the first and a second. Which I think in a 14-team league, depth is key, like more valuable. So like the second, you could be like, that might be something. But Henry at 27 first. This looks like you won your league last year. You only have Caleb. You locked in QB3, I think, on Dynasty Daddy. And Devontae Adams is a great contender piece.
Are people down on Lamar?
I don't blame you.
Is that why this deal gets done?
14-team
Super flex.
I think so. Lamar's value is he's like QB3, but there's a significant drop.
He's player 9.
Perception of Drake May and Lamar Jackson. So I think that's an amazing deal. Because you get Caleb and you get Lamar, and
you know what it is?
you have Adams, and you traded like the 113 or something.
It's that it was like he was on like the Rich Eisen show or something at the combine, and there was a mention of Lamar potentially opportunities for him to run less. And it's like, dude, you have Lamar Jackson. Like he's not saying that like Lamar is going to be staying in the pocket the whole game. Like it is just.
It's just like it's one of those sound bites in the offseason that people just run with.
Yeah. I mean, like this is not to disparage King Henry's name at all, but in the context of Lamar Jackson,
getting Lamar,
and two, like, I mean, obviously, I even want this deal if my league was only for the next, season. I still want my side, or 2 seasons, so that they can use 27 picks. I'll give you that. But the longevity
picks don't count,
right?
No, I mean I do agree. I think crazy. Henry. And this is something if you've listened, which you've had.
What's Domino's?
I'm never going to talk bad about Derrick Henry. Like there's no age cliff with Derrick Henry. He's just it. He's like an alien. He's the Wemby of football. He'll just keep going forever. So I do think he is great value, but you could also say the same thing about Devontae Adams as a win-now piece, and then you also get a insulated QB in a 14-team Superflex league where Lamar Jackson, even if he has another bad year, he's still going to be valued super highly in a 14-team Superflex league.
All right. What's up, Kyle? And actually, yeah, I'm going to let's hit the live stream asks that we have in there after these, and then we can go back through the free agency stuff. And feel free, like when we're going through the free agency stuff, feel free to ask questions about, I mean, it would be great for the future people watching this live stream for them to be related to the players we're talking about at the time, but we won't hold you to that. It's okay. All right, Kyle put something on the live stream.
Will's giving the audience some notes.
I've been practicing. I'm ready. I'm actually I have your message copied on my screen right now, Kyle. We're pulling it up. Put something on the live stream. Ask, but should I give up? Is this the trade? The 27.
Yeah, I think so.
It looks like it's a slight variation because it's a third.
It's because the deal ends at 9 p.m. Central Time.
Oh,
it ends in like 30
he's got the. Do you send out those exploding offers? I know Diaz.
I do all the time.
Diaz is an exploding offer guy. I need to start implementing it.
I used to not do it. Because I was like, oh, that seems mean. And like, I'm not super strict with it, but it's like, especially during the season.
Yeah.
I will set it to.
And when you're trading with multiple people
before the game start. Like before the game start, I don't want to have a injury happen. Someone accepts it because someone got injured on the Thursday night game, and then all of a sudden the player values change. Mm-hmm. So I always will keep the timer on for this season, especially.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know Diaz is a big exploding offer guy, and I respect it. The only thing that it might take away from me, and maybe it won't, because they'll respond in a message. I'm a big conversationalist in the sleeper DMs. I like talking through it. I like getting to know what the people want, hearing their needs. What are you trying to do with your team? How can I help you accomplish your goals? How can this be a win-win? And then I love doing the classic Will is, all right, I'll trade you a future second, and I'll let you pick which one you want. I love doing that. Oh,
that's a good one. Yeah,
that's what I did.
This is actually what you want,
right? I did that last night in a trade in the Bravo Daddy. I had a big boy trade in there, which I think people might say I lost, which I think are good ones to talk about. The ones where I lose a trade on stream. All right, I am pulling up Kyle's right now, and let's see. Do we have exploding offers all day? Can't have things just hanging out there. Yeah, and when people don't respond to you for like a week and they saw it, it's like, all right, come on, bro. What is good, Kevin? Different type of notification. Yeah. Oh, that is true. I didn't think about it like that.
That is smart. I never thought about that.
It's a little juicier.
It does give you the little explosion.
You get the emojis.
Like, oh, crap. I need to look at it.
Yeah. No, that's good. All right. Here we go.
Okay, where are we at?
We are doing our best to pull up the chat message.
We should go a little bit slower just to make Kyle sweat a little bit.
Nah. LD and Elite. Bang. Daddy Club member. Look at that. All right, here we go. What? There we go. All right, just got an offer. 27. And I'll pull up the chat message too, because I think it is slightly different, but I'm going to read this one first just as a little different context, and then we'll pull up the other one. All right, we just got strongest tight end room. All right, here we go. Got an offer for a 27 first for the 105. Hope right now is that someone trades with 104 to grab Mendoza. If that happens, I could have all three wide receivers, because you see here the 102, 103, and 105 picks. Or I could trade Marv, 27 third, and the 105 for Barner and Hampton and secure the RB room with Genti, Manungai, and Jalen Warren. This is a 12 by 10, 0.5 PPR, 0.5 tight end premium, 6-point passing touchdown. Got that T-Law Purdy and Malik Willis. And sexy. Oh, wow. I was going to say Justin Fields, which I guess is not sexy. Malik Willis is what Justin Fields is right now.
Ooh, sexy Malik Willis.
I wanted to do sexy Justin
benched.
Fields and go back to Malik Willis. But all right. Initially, and I'll pull up this message and we could take a look and put the other one away. 27 second and Marv. So this one is a second instead of a third. So we'll take a look at this one. For Hamp, AJ Barner, and Kamani Vidal. Or stay and try to get the 101 and risk not getting any running back. What's the future pick situation looking like? You have a first and second in 27.
Yeah.
And then all picks in 28.
Basically all the key picks. But
Right.
it doesn't
No
have
third,
a 27 or a 27 third. I mean, big thing, wide receiver room, kind of buns, right? I mean, you got Marv and Hunter, probably the two of the big whiffs.
He's got the 2026 draft class wide receiver room.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the big whiffs, unfortunately, but you do have 3 high-value picks in this upcoming class. So trading away the 105, you can still address some wide receivers, fill out that room. It looks like Mr. TT, offering 27 first, is a rebuilder, but they do have a ton of value, including Drake May, Gibbs, Amarion Hampton, and Bashal Tootin, which we now have to consider.
Yeah.
And they have the 111. So if you do trade them the 105, they're probably also loading up another wide receiver. Their wide receiver room's all right, but it isn't guaranteed this team is like bottom 2, bottom 3. It could be maybe like the 105 in next year's class, which isn't terrible.
Do you have any...
The 105... Yeah, go ahead.
Just real quick, because I know you're the Hampton guy, and obviously everyone's excited. You get the McDaniels and everything. I get it. Mm-hmm. Is there any fear for you about just the overall role for Hampton? Like, not even speaking anything about like the prospect or what he showed last season, but just in terms of, I think that if Najee had stayed healthy the whole year, it would not have surprised me if it was kind of like you remember Gibbs' rookie season with Dave Montgomery, where it was kind of like, wow, this is like a lot more of a split than we had anticipated when you take a running back that high in the first round. And there's been like not strong buzz, but the Chargers have been in some of the name reports for some of these running backs in free agency.
I've seen the A-chain mix of
right, and that kind of makes sense, but
I don't know how real that is.
Right. And the only reason I'm asking is not to like disparage Hampton individually, but in the context of a second Marv and the 105 for Hampton.
This is kind of where it is, right? Where I'm at. In a weird turn of events, it may say you might want to keep Marvin Harrison.
I set him
Jr.
up for you guys. We got him to do it.
And my thought process is a few things. My wide receiver room is pretty weak to begin with. Mm-hmm. Travis Hunter is a huge miss, probably just in the usage of an offense. Marvin Harrison Jr. has at least he's in the offense being used. It could be a better offense. That new coaching staff could be a situation where they utilize him in a better manner. So I'm more optimistic of Marv here. But the big thing to me is if you look, there is a super team in this league, right? So, and I'm like already 11th, right? So I don't really see this team being a team that needs consistent running back production now. I'm more enticed to say, oh, maybe I can take that 105, kick it to the future 2027. Hope that this super team, which doesn't look...
Yeah, it's really strong.
It's a super team, but it's an older team.
Right.
There's a lot of pieces where I'm like, oh, I could see Adams and Henry or like Tua's they're starting... Like, I'm like, there's issues and kinks that are going to kind of weigh this team down over the course of 2 years, and I still have a ton of other teams I need to jump. So if I can get an extra 27 pick, I especially an extra 27 pick from the last ranked team right now, it is a little enticing of like, maybe I do try to just have 2 high-end picks this year, 2 high-end picks next year, give Marv a new situation a chance. If he becomes a low-end wide receiver 2, that works because I'm going to have 2 high-end wide receivers this class, and then I can kind of roll in to 2027 addressing the needs based on the picks I have. Yeah. That's probably how I would do it. I feel like a Hampton move would be more of, I'm a middle of the pack team, and I'm trying to get a star or a star potential player, and I'm willing to lose 20% of a haircut in the value department. But when you're rank 11 out of 12 in value, you need to start soaking up all the value and taking those value trades. So I'm hesitant to consolidate when there's not a ton already on the roster to consolidate.
Yeah, I think with this team, I'm a little less inclined to push in, like you talked about, for like the one running back with the 105. And I think the thing with Marv too is if we do get a full Jacoby year next year, like I know they brought in Algier and you get James Conner back, but man, I mean, we saw 57 pass attempt upside. I don't know how many of those games we'll get from the Cardinals, but it's a lot more than we would get from Malik Willis. So in terms of like Marv having the upside to like give you games to put himself back into a conversation as like a top, 12-ish dynasty wide receiver, I think the upside is at least there with Jacoby for another year. So I'd much rather be using picks to kind of build out the team, and maybe instead of the 105 plus Marv to get Hampton, you're using the 105 if Mendoza's there, like, and it doesn't go the way you want, and 104 doesn't take Mendoza, the 3 wide receivers and Lever off the board, you're sitting there at the 105, like you can start to entertain and look at conversations with this Stafford JJ McCarthy guy. Like maybe he wants Mendoza, and you'd be able to look at, I mean, this is a pretty nasty receiver room, Chase, Pickens, Nico. Like, what can I add onto the 105 to get up here? Or will he take the 105 straight up for, Pickens or Nico or something?
Yeah, I mean, I think too, an option I would also look at is the potentially moving off of Malik Willis as well.
Right.
Because I think he is kind of a flash in the pan type of quarterback. His value's peaking right now. And it's really awesome if you are a team that's 1 or 2 pieces away to have that one piece develop into a player you can start and take a risk on.
Yeah.
To me right now, I'm like, I don't feel like Willis is. Like, to me, I would be going to one of those teams that don't have a quarterback and be like, you want Mendoza for his price, or do you want Willis? Like, I'm trying to deal either or in this situation.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, and I think Willis too, like I'm such an anti 3 QBs that hold value guy. Like anytime my third quarterback is worth any kind of first round pick, I am hitting up every single bad quarterback team. Yo, bro, what's up? Let me fix your QB room. So yeah, I think that's a good shout too. All right, Kyle's a minute behind. Let us know in 2 minutes if you have any questions. I actually do exploding offers. They win, but they have to accept or really test them. Ooh, okay. All right. Like, you send a good offer. All right. Fleeced a guy in Bravo Daddy. I didn't want to do this early.
Yeah. Chat's coming for you, man.
I'll pull it up. I did take the screenshot if we want to take a look.
You got to screw all the free agency stuff. This is what matters.
We'll talk quick. Fleeced. We'll talk quick about it because it is, I do think, and I mentioned this before, I actually do think that this is the kind of move where it would not surprise me at all if chat, Jeremy, my family thinks I lost this deal. And I'll give you some perspective, but it's a big boy trade. So be ready. I'm going to cover up Jeremy when I do this. Okay, guys, you ready for this? No Jeremy needed for this trade, and then we'll minimize it. All right. So I traded. Ooh. No, you're not a part of this. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I traded Neighbors, Fannin, the 107, 27 second, 205, and the 308 for Bijan, Loveland, Rashid Shaheed, and the 203. So obviously the big portion of this is you're swapping Bijan and Neighbors, you're swapping Loveland and Fannin, and then it is basically Rashid Shaheed as a plus to help the cost in between the swap preference for the 107 and then the 27 second and the third, I guess. So to me, obviously overall value wise, I think you would look at this we're in a 12 by 10. It is a 0.75 10 in premium. I am coming out of a 1 year rebuild. And I think the main motivator for me doing this deal was, one, to have a Jeremiah Love, Bijan Robinson running back room. I was pretty excited for that. That was definitely the main driving force. And two, I have like a lot of.
It's gonna look cool on Dynasty Daddy, that's for sure.
It definitely will look cool. And I'll pull this up. Oh man, I told myself I wouldn't do this. That I wouldn't utilize precious stream time to talk through my own trades. But I think it's helpful for the people, right? Can we say it's helpful for the people?
I mean, people are giving you crap, man. You gotta.
Yeah, I gotta defend my honor.
Stand behind your trade.
Thank you. All right, now we gotta pull it back up though. See, this is why I didn't want to do this, man. I'm doing all the setup just so Music Lover 23 can know that he did not win this trade. We'll put it over here. Yeah, that's fine. We can block my. That was perfect. All right, so this team coming out of the rebuild. I think he's extra salty too because I traded for his first in the startup last year and it ended up being the 103. So I think he's a little bit extra frustrated about that part of it. So I think that's kind of why he's coming for me in the chat, which is fine. I get it. Not a big deal. I know Music Lover 23 IRL, just so you guys know. I'm not like a hole to random people in my Dynasty leagues. And this is the Bravo Daddy League too. Join the Discord if you want to be in the Daddy League or Delta Daddy. We haven't decided. But this team, oh my gosh, Bijan. I don't have a lot of Bijan teams. I don't see that green 10,000 in the RB column very often. You don't get that much, no. But yeah. This running back room, I think I was kind of going to wait out free agency a little bit before I started making buys alongside Love. But Sean Tucker, Spears, Mixon, Connor, Keaton Mitchell, not sure if I'm getting a feel good about it RB2. So it was that alongside, I do have the 103. So I'm kind of penciling in a wide receiver, to pair alongside BTJ, Addison Pearsall. And to me, like I do this kind of move when I have a plethora of picks, right? So I still have the 110, 201, 203. I have my own 27 first, still have 2 seconds. So I think like these picks can be used to like figure out the wide receiver room post moving Malik Neighbors. And then I think the last thing I'll say about it is I think regardless of how much value you think I gave up to get the deal done, I am getting the safer bets for production outcomes for sure for next season. And then I think you would probably argue long-term just with, Cleveland versus Chicago for Fannin and Loveland. And then obviously where Bijan's at and then Neighbors coming off the injury. All right,
yeah,
let me hear it. Let me hear it.
I'll be honest.
This class sucks. The 110 it's going to be he's going to take Denzel Boston, who is going. No, I'm just kidding. Dang it.
Well, you traded the 107, right?
Yeah. This class sucks. 107 sucks.
I do get your side of the trade, and I kind of like your side, to be honest.
I'm surprised.
I feel like you are giving up a lot of depth in terms of like the seconds and the thirds, but the 107 isn't one of the juicy picks in 2026. You're not giving up the 105, the 104, even the 106. Tight end premium, you lock in Loveland, who came on strong towards the end. Oh, I was spilled by water. But he came on strong towards the end. I kind of like that upgrade, but I really love the upgrade from Neighbors, who's had 2 years of missing time and injury issues, to a Bijan in a format where it's a lot easier to find somewhat similar wide receiver production versus finding Bijan level running back production. And now you're going to lock in Bijan. You lock in Love as your RB2. He doesn't even have to show out. He could have a Nash and Gene type year, and you'll be like, okay, I'm all right, because I also have Bijan who's doing Bijan numbers, right? Like, so it's not like I think a lot of times when you end up with the 101 that's a running back, you're like, I need this dude to come in and be a top 5 producing running back right away. A lot of times it's not that way, especially recently with teams taking top 10 running backs. Yeah, that's it usually means you're going to be in a bad situation. So I like the way you moved around. Like I do think you gave up a good deal. Like I don't think it's a fleece on either side, but I to me I just like get the stud that doesn't have the question marks of neighbors. And I get paying the 107 on top, but I also am not going to miss trading, Ty Simpson on top of neighbors to go get Bijan.
Yeah. Yeah. And I joke around about the 107. Like, I mean, shout out to Trevor, not an idiot. Like we were talking through the 110 and stuff, and he wanted the 103 when we were initially having the conversations, and it was like, all right, what am I getting back if I'm giving you neighbors in the 103 for Bijan? Because I'm not doing that straight up. So there was like long conversations about it. I do think like KC, Boston, Bowers. Whew, that is my apologies to Brock Bowers for accidentally using his name in this class, but yeah, I think that 107 pick could definitely be, and I get it too. I'll quick pull up. Shout out to Tricky Trev. I will pull up the Tricky Trev team, and when we were talking through things,
I do think Trevor makes a good point. We might lose him as a viewer, so
yeah.
I think actually Trevor won the trade. I mean, that's a good argument.
That is true. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Good work, Trev. But no, so I think his point was the way his team is built out is like with this QB room, with like Bijan JT is sick as hell, but then when your wide receiver room is like after Ikbuka and Marv, Golden, Tank Dell, only had the 109 and 205 in this class. So like in terms of figuring out the QB position, if Rodgers doesn't play alongside filling out the wide receiver room, I think he wanted to stack some assets on top of still getting, I think, stud players in Neighbors and Fannin. So let's say we both won. How about that, guys? We both won? Yeah. I like that. All right, thank you, guys.
We're all a winner.
Bijan side
we're
easy.
All a winner. We're talking football. We're talking football in early March.
That's true. True. We are all the winners, guys. We're all nerding out on the best thing. Let's go. Whoever received Allen or Bijan in a trade always wins, no matter how much they paid. This is honestly, man, I really want to say
it's
true.
Right in like, it's like right in like 74% of leagues.
Yeah, that's true. And too, like format wise, I think there's interesting things to talk about. Like this one being a 0.7510 in premium versus a 0.5. I was a little bit more inclined to like make the safer, I think, stud tight end bet. Like I do think that Loveland has a little bit more. I think Loveland has a better chance to actually be in, and maybe he is for some people right now. I'm not going to do my Loveland thing right now. I don't want to do it too loud or consistently because I traded away in Charlie Daddy to contend with George Kittle. Shout out myself. But Loveland was legit getting like gotta have it moments where the play is designed to Colston Loveland. Like let's get a matchup
DJ
disadvantage.
Moore's out of the situation as well.
Yeah.
So not that DJ Moore was a huge target hog, but
right, that
less
is
mouths to feed.
Well, they brought in.
I do think the gap between Loveland and Fannin isn't as big as the gap between like a Neighbors and Bijan.
I think for sure for the first year, 100% the first year production off the injury. But yeah, I agree in terms of expectations. And he's got Tua. He's got Tua there. So Falcons offense should be rolling. 51% me. What is up? Gah, Tigers. What is this? The names are, it's so weird that the names will like swap during the stream. Like it's not like whatever. I don't know. I'm losing it. All right. Where are we going? Should we go back to? Should we hit the live stream asks because we spent so much time on myself?
Trev is got you in shambles, man.
I'm happy we went through that, guys. That was big for me to get to talk through that. All right, D. I know Diaz had one. Oh wait, is this Wait, talk about something. Do you rail the stream? Honestly, no. You railed it.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were.
My bad.
That interesting choice of words there. No, I mean we were doing a live stream ask with Kyle because he had a trade offer expiring in 10 minutes. but
Where are we at,
we
Kyle?
were kind of doing
What's
a
update?
break from all the free agency.
Yeah. Yeah. Let
Is
us
Trevor no
know.
ball? Thank you for derailing it. Yeah. Thank you for railing it.
Good work. No railing.
I mean, Diaz does make a good point as well. That I mean, if you have the 105, the class is loaded at wide receiver. Like, don't overthink the Jordan Tyson pick. Even like Kenyon Sadiq, I could be talked into in tight end premiums. Like in any of those top 6 picks, I feel great taking. After that, that's when it's like, okay, how high do I take Ty Simpson? How high do I take KC or Boston or someone that just doesn't have as exciting of a profile as someone like Tyson? Tyson could sit on the bench for 10 weeks injured, and people would still value him.
Why gotta do the injured thing with Tyson?
That's
no,
not Tyson. I mean, Jordan Tyson.
Jordan Tyson. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. All right, we've got Garbo. Actually, I see. Oh wait, Kyle answered above. Wait, I miss it.
We got Garbo and we got Big Diaz. I think it's about the.
I was curious
Max Crosby trade that got backed out. I'm curious what the physical is, because I'm a Hornets fan, and not to make this about me.
You're familiar with injuries and
there's a famous trade that happened like a year ago or so where the Hornets traded Mark Williams, our center, to the Lakers,
yeah,
for Connect and like a 27 first round pick, and everyone's like, oh, like this is a good deal, whatever. And the Hornets fans were like jazzed because we're like, Mark Williams doesn't play for us at all. Like we got a first round pick out of it, and somehow he failed the physical, and then we lost. Like it's like, oh, we're not doing the trade anymore. So it feels similar to this where I'm like, I'm just curious about the process. Like how do they fail a physical? I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, the failed. When I think of failed physical, oh man, I forget his name. Was it the Pats? Who was like the 3-something pound?
It's Albert Hainsworth.
Yes. Maybe it wasn't the Pats. All right, we talking allergies, guys. I'm a sick boy. I drink a lot of water too. Drink a lot of water, guys. I don't know if that helps with allergies. So never mind. Don't take my advice. Ask a AI overview on Google. Okay, there we go. I said I'll be patient and wait. Okay, I did see that. My bad. Who wants QB? Yeah, for sure. I mean, the 105, like, regardless of if you're going to be bummed out if you miss out on Tyson, like you said, there will be people interested in the 101 quarterback.
Yeah.
Or you can move one of your other quarterbacks.
Top 5 picks have so much flexibility.
Yeah. All right, we've got a Garbo here. I got it ready. Don't worry. This one doesn't need too much stalling. Big G in the live stream ask. Hey fellas, looking for some thoughts on what to do with this QB room in a 12x10 Superflex PPR 0.510 and premium. Received an offer of the 201 for Willis before the signing, but I think he's worth more now. I agree. Also had one hour show interest in Brissett recently, just not sure which direction to take here. I mean, obviously this is the kind of like Jane Daniels, Brock Purdy, Cam Ward, Malik Willis, Jacoby Brissett. Like, you do not need at least 2 of these guys. I'd be curious if you're getting any calls on Cam Ward of just like, they sign Wandale, they bring in Daniel Bellinger, Dayball's there now, Robert Saleh.
They picked Jeremiah Love 3rd overall.
Right. So I'd be curious to hear what the Cam Ward, if you've gotten any questions about Cam Ward, but maybe it is the assumption that Malik Willis and Jacoby Brissett are so much cheaper that people aren't wanting to check in on the Cam Ward price. So I kind of get that, but we'll take a look at some of these crappy QB teams.
But this wide receiver room looks almost identical to one I have. I was like, wait, am I looking at the right roster?
CD Rice Reed. We got Loveland, the 103. I mean, this team is pretty fun, but I do think this team does kind of need to turn these QBs into filling out. It doesn't need to be right now your starting lineup in terms of turning the QBs into picks, or turning the QBs into players that fill out behind Gibbs or, whatever wide receiver upgrades to fill out the room. But I think that's the easiest way for you to do that. You have the 103, which could be a receiver. But yeah.
I will say, because we're talking about, like I wouldn't move Malik Willis for the 201. I don't know about Brissett. You do have 5 starting quarterbacks right now, and like you said, you need to liquidate some of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, let me try to move Brock Purdy, let me try to move Cam Ward.
That's
Is
true.
it something of like that person offer me the 201? Do I say, hey, like, can I get the 201 plus a little piece or something? And then it makes you feel good.
It was this team too.
Part of me too is like, I don't want to be too picky. And then
Yeah.
like the window for some of these quarterbacks being sold closes. And now I'm like, crap, I have a ton of quarterbacks and not a lot of buyers right now.
Yeah. This team is interesting. So this is the team, Superman, that reached out, that has a 201. They have the 104 as well. Wide receiver room is pretty rough. They do have ETN and Tootin. I mean, I would love to use the QB room to get ETN if possible.
I mean, do you think? I don't think. I mean, you could probably just do like a Willis straight up for ETN.
Yeah, you never know how desperate teams are, and I think like ETN. I think the highest price that people are probably buying ETN is probably after the top 5 picks. I don't know if you've seen any ETN deals happen recently. We could probably pull it up on the site. That's probably what I should be doing.
I haven't, but I will.
All right, we'll do it. Let's do it live. This is what it's all about.
Travis Etienne. I'm sure there's like late first, right? Like 110, 210.
JD McGee. We just broke down the Bijan Neighbors trade, and this is a good shout. When wide receivers peaks are much longer than running backs. My bias is not to offer a wide receiver for running back if I can help it. Thank you in advance for your feedback. This is a good shout too. To me, I mean, I talked through it that the main reason I ended up doing that kind of deal was, and I was trying to turn BTJ into Igbuka is really what another big crux of the deal was. That part fell through, understandably, but yeah,
okay, the Jags can't trade BTJ either.
Right. I don't even know. Do I even want BTJ on the Jets? Like if the trade happens, I don't know, man. Geno slinging that thing. We'll see. No, this is I'll touch on this real quick. I think I'll go full screen for this one. We don't get a lot of wheel full screen for you guys. Let's hit it. This is a good shout. And I have been a big wide receiver proponent guy. And if you look at startups right now, and this was I feel like I'm in my negotiations with Trevor over Discord last night, where I was telling him, like, hey, in a startup, Bijan and Neighbors go like super close together. Like that's a first round guy. Wife was talking to you. Hey, no problem. Hey, just get her. Put us on the big screen. Get the wife involved. Get her in the Daddy League. Hopefully she's not watching right now. All right. The question was the wide receiver versus running back trade, and obviously the big part of that was me adding the 107 on top of it to get that and the Loveland Fannin swap deal done. To me, it was a little bit of, so if it was Chase or any of like the top 2-3, like Puka, JSN receivers, I am probably slightly less inclined to do that deal. It's a little bit of the Neighbors coming back from the injury was, I think, like a bigger part of it, where I felt like I could pretty quickly build a contending team. And if I'm going to do this kind of buy and move Neighbors for running back, let it be Bijan post Algier. I was about to say Stefanski in the same tone. I'm not going to give him that kind of hype, but no, I think Bijan is just one of those like next 3-4 seasons, the like production versus other running back production could be insurmountable, that I'm willing to kind of use some of my pick leverage that I've gained through excess picks in startups, the startup to make that deal done. But I think overall,
dude, Trevor's cracking me up. The bro is fighting for his life to justify this trade.
I was surprised that Diaz and you were on my side, but I think you guys kind of look at the Bijan warp and the warp potential too post Algier. we'll see. I think they'll bring it back, but you got Bijan Robinson.
Not to drag on too long about the Bijan question, but I agree. I think too something about if it was an ETN type running back, even if it's a slightly better quality running back like a James Cook, it's impactful. But we're talking about like Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs level of production at running back, and that's always been key in fantasy football.
Yeah.
So I always know I got to pay a premium for that, and even if it's like, Amon-Ra St. Brown tier wide receivers, it's probably worth it. Even if the it burns quicker than those type of wide receivers. I mean, with Neighbors too, like, do we even know if he's going to be healthy enough and consistent enough to be on the field that long? To me, I'm like, give me the elite difference-making RB because I can build a decent team with Zay Flowers types for cheaper. And they sometimes do have wide receiver 6 seasons and are putting up better numbers than Neighbors, and I don't have to pay that elite price. It's a lot easier to buy wide receiver 2 type production versus getting that Bijan level production. And not saying that Neighbors is wide receiver 2 type production, but Neighbors isn't putting himself up there with the Pukas and the JSN did this year in Chase.
Yeah. Shout out to Kyle with the super chat. This is for helping me out all the time. You guys are the best. Hey.
I appreciate Kyle.
You're the best for sending us $10. No, I appreciate you guys. I always say it that I would be, if I wasn't here on the live stream, I probably would be up right now, 10 p.m., listening to some sort of Dynasty content while working on something. And appreciate you all being in here. It's a lot more fun to be super into Dynasty when it's with other degens.
It is. Will was pounding on my door. I was like, we need to do a Tuesday night live stream. That's what the people want.
Heck yeah. I was pounding on your Gmail. I was...
yeah.
I was gonna do it. I'm a big like comedy guy.
I like tonight, Will.
I like going full circle, and I really stopped myself from making a derailed railed comment joke that probably would have been not appropriate for YouTube or for JD McGee's wife. Okay. Let's all right, what are we doing? Oh, we're looking at ETN traits. We're looking at ETN traits. I got it pulled up over here. So this is the question was about ETN, but all right, don't worry about it. I was curious about what the ETN price is, and today, looking at these deals, I mean the 110, 210, okay, 109, 12 by 10, full PPR, 27 first.
The earliest I've seen is 109.
Yeah, which I think is fair. Shout out to me, man. But 107 in a 12 by 10, 0.75 10 premium. I think this will be the 106, 107 will be so fascinating leading up to the draft and maybe even post draft, depending on how things work out in terms of how people value. Because we hear so much. I mean, we say it too about the top 5 picks and how people are penciling the 3 running backs and Jeremiah Love and Fernando Mendoza. And I think the cutoff feel for people at the 107. Like, to me, if I'm trading for the 107, I am the biggest idiot in the world. And I would never want to do that right now. Have the big crux of a deal be for the 107 pick. Sorry, that was one last Trevor joke. But yeah, I think this was all about.
I will say, if Mike Washington gets picked in the second round,
bro, yeah, I need to.
You telling me the Dynasty community won't steam that up?
Okay, that's a fair comment. I am okay. I'm quick update.
The nice part about the 107 is you're just kind of the last line of defense of any hype train, any rogue manager. Anything unexpected where someone
Casey landing spot
than we expect.
Stowers,
Casey lands and I don't even know. You get to take that pick. And like you said, a lot of people look at that pick as the cutoff, but it could be a value when all things are said and done because you could end up getting a guy that falls within that range.
Good shout. And good shout, Diaz. I will be moving on. The Diaz I honestly the double Diaz Daddy signs of approval is all I need. This guy, bro, you need to get off of whatever TikTok, Instagram Reel app you're on right now. All right, so we were looking at the wait. All right, help me out.
What we're looking at?
Why was I looking at ETN prices? Did you bring up a team? Oh, Superman. This is the team that wanted Malik Willis for the 201. We got it, guys. Okay. So
Yeah, we're
ETN,
saying that maybe send Malik
that's a
Willis
fair.
for ETN.
Yeah.
201. What do you do? Like Willis plus something for like Tootin and the 201?
I'd rather go after ETN. And we could talk about the Tootin hype train as well. I think I think the Jags are fairly likely to add to the running back room, and there's still some names out there. And we haven't even talked about the draft class that people don't like, but a lot of spots are being filled up. You know, a lot of like Pacheco to the Lions. That was we'll get there.
You
Sonic,
gotta come up with a new nickname.
Sonic and Tails. Sonic and give me a very obscure Sonic character. I don't know how deep I can go in the Sonic lore. I can give you Shadow. I can give
Knuckles,
you
Tails, Shadow. What's like the blue things that float?
Oh, the Chows? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, I think so. Is
I do remember having a Sonic
maybe an Eggman
Adventures.
vibe.
What was it? Sonic Battle Adventures 2 or something, where you like have your little Chow forest. There's one person in chat who will know what I'm talking about and get this reference. You like had this little like paradise. You go into a special area. It's got these little somebody in chat say OMG Will, I remember that. And if nobody says it in 2 minutes, can somebody say it like just so that I can feel something? Dr. Eggman.
Trevor called you an egghead?
Egghead. Dr. Egghead. Which honestly, Eggman is like not that much different than Egghead.
It's not much, yeah.
But that's funny.
Sonic and Egghead.
Poor Garbo, man. He's like, oh nice, they're talking about my trade. And he's clicking around and he's like, what are you talking about? All right, OMG Will, I remember that. All right, this is a little bit too exactly how I trade request aforementioned. Wait, do we have a Tigers? Oh yeah, we do. Okay, my bad. All right, let's finish this one. I think we can finish on. I am sending Willis for ETN and hearing what the manager says. Because I mean, they reached out to you for the 201 for Willis pre-signing.
Yeah, you know they're interested.
Yeah, and I mean ETN for the 111, 112. We saw those deals, even if the highest was the 107, and it was more in kind of that 109, 110 range. So I don't think it's a bad deal at all.
And even the conversation of like maybe they just want some sort of quarterback, and like you could sell high on the Brissett being the starter news and be like maybe Brissett in like third for the 207 or something, like flipping Brissett into starter credit and getting some sort of pick would also be an option if you don't want to move off of Willis. But I do think Willis for ETN kind of plug one of your needs, and ETN's going to have a pretty decent rollout. I don't know how ETN and Kamara will look, but they gave him money. They expect ETN to do something.
Yeah, we were seeing a lot of Devin Neal last year and Kendra Miller for a minute.
Probably a little too much. It didn't work.
And that dude, the ETN money, like, and we'll talk through some of these deals that are like crazy, you know, what $50-40 million deals when you actually look at it, especially like spread out over all the years, and you know the dead cap, it actually doesn't end up being that much, but ETN got paid. Okay. God Tigers is making me feel bad, so I'll pull up the message.
The 10-minute Domino's guarantee.
Wait, are we close? Where are we at? It's 10:09. Oh my gosh, we hit it. Got a trade offer for the 102. Caleb Williams, Loveland, JJ McCarthy in exchange for Jackson Dart, JC, Jonathan Brooks, and Jimmy Horn Jr. 102, Caleb Williams, Loveland. Ooh, okay. So 102, Caleb Williams, Loveland, Jackson Dart, JSN. How heavy is this tight end premium? Do we know format? And 102 on top of Caleb Williams and Loveland. I'm taking that. Yeah. I think that's just too much. I mean, if
there's a lot of names in there, but like the names are Jonathan Brooks, which is like double ACL tear. Like he's like the ACL version of Cam Akers, and then you got Jimmy Horn Jr., which like what does that count for? Obviously JJ McCarthy isn't exciting, but JJ McCarthy is still a quarterback who is young and will probably get some sort of opportunity at some time in the future. We don't know when. and you're talking about Loveland, Caleb Williams, Jackson Dart, a little bit of a wash, but I don't know if I'm giving Loveland in the 102 for JSN, unless if there's like no tight end premium or something like that. Then I consider it, but I just lean the amount of players that you're getting are on that one side is much. You have many more things that have to go wrong for that package to lose.
Yeah. And I'm gonna quick pull up this message so we're within 10 minutes and then go back to this one. But yeah, the tight end premium I'd be curious about, but I think even in no tight end premium, like Loveland is in that range of like I am expecting like really solid wide receiver 2 production at the tight end spot, which I think is meaningful enough for the 102 to bridge the gap between Loveland and JSN.
Yeah.
So that's a good trade thing. That's I like that.
We also got one above it. Larry Gates.
Yes. I quick flash the Larry Gates trade. So we were within the 10-minute window, but we can hit it for real right now. 12 by 10, Superflex PPR, 0.75 tight end premium. I feel I need to upgrade, and I can pull up the league. I feel like I need to upgrade tight end.
Tight end.
The only tight end available that I will spend my 21st on is Big Loveland night tonight. The man, the myth, the legend, Colson Loveland. While I'm pulling that up, our offer would be Gadsden plus the first. So obviously we need to take a look at the team. But in general, 27 first and Gadsden for Loveland.
It's a big tight end premium, but it's not like insane. Okay. And I look at this like you have the firepower to go up and get Stowers. You already have Gadsden. I don't know if I love Loveland. I don't know if I'm sending Gadsden in a first to go get Loveland.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what this team. Whoa, it's kind of freaking me out. All right, let's take a look. All right,
because that is just kind of a steep. Like you're not poor.
Dude, this is where you can get it can be a little dangerous. I think, obviously, pretty sick team in this format. Josh Allen, T-Law, Bijan Genty, Barkley, ETN, Pickens, Rice. You have Gadsden, Kincaid. The only issue, and I love Loveland, man. How big is tight end premium? What was it? It was 0.75.
0.75. I mean, it's significant, but it's not like double. If it's double, I'm like, I get going to pay for the elite guys because that double tight end premium, you're talking top 5 fantasy contributor if you hit on tight end.
Yeah.
But to me, I look at Gadsden, I'm like, he's probably going to be a top 10 tight end. Like, why am I stitching a 27 first? And I'm also not asset rich in draft capital.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't have any picks this year. Oh, wait, I don't know if your draft has already happened. Maybe it has. But
I don't. Maybe. No, it has not.
Nope. No.
Just the first 2 teams I clicked on had no picks.
That's same. So that's where I'm hesitant. And 2, like I think your biggest need, to be honest, is going to be that wide receiver 3 spot is more concerning to me, like long term, and I don't want to blow my flexibility. If Hunter doesn't work, what is Pittman going to look like in the Pittsburgh offense?
All right, wait. You want the quick gross?
Watson's not bad.
You want the quick gross Pittman take for Will? And shout out to Matt Harmon. I had heard this here as well. And at post Kenny Gainwell being gone, like the way Rodgers plays right now is just like so short get the ball out of my hands. And that kind of is what they were trying to do a little bit with DK. But I think DK is like okay in that role. But I think that is like, when you think about a receiver that kind of does that, like not necessarily like win.
I'm reading what you're saying.
Yeah.
Tyler's coming to Pittsburgh.
Oh gosh. Boy.
I thought we were on the same page there.
I assume Rodgers is, maybe I'm tripping.
No, yeah, I do think Rodgers will be back. And I do think he fills a better role.
You got Jacoby, kind of Christian Watson, but no, I get what you're saying. I think the only thing I would say is, like, obviously no picks in 2026. You have a 27 first and a 28 first. I do understand the standpoint of my 27 first. Look at my team, guys. You're talking about the 111, 112 right now. And I'm talking about using that to get stud tight end in a 0.75 tight end premium. That, like, yeah, it's going to hurt next year when I don't have a 27 first. but it hurts a lot less when my team is Josh Allen, T-Law, Bijan Gentry, ETN, Pickens, Rice. You know what, Larry? You have the will approval to do this deal, even though I think it is a little bit too risky. It's the pro Loveland trade.
It's risky.
If you're getting Loveland in a trade, you're winning, guys. Come on.
I don't know if I'm that far.
No, I'm just kidding.
Bowers.
You really shouldn't do this.
Then we can talk about that.
Strange, Kincaid, Gadsden. You really should not do this trade.
I don't think your tight ends are bad enough to where I'm like, I need to patch it with my only first round pick until 2028.
Yeah. You shouldn't do this, Larry. I gave you the approval. You can hold on to the approval I gave you earlier. You probably shouldn't do this.
You can clip it.
It's just like in season too. Like, just think about in season, and you want to go to the table and like move players or, whatever, like buy a running back or do an upgrade, or a team just put a stud player on the block. And you're coming with, sick players for sure, but pick wise, where those people want picks that are like willing to move these stud producers. You're like, hey, I got a 28 first. Best I could do. I give you my 27 third.
Yeah, like that's
I'm a playoff team.
And especially when you need that to happen, like people are gonna be like, there's gonna be other offers. And another thing too, like, is you got to think about the market of your league, right? Because if you are sending your limited picks now, is your league extremely active, or is a few managers active right now? But during week 3, week 8,
who has all 9, the 26 picks? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Where are they?
Tuna has like 7.
Okay.
Tuna 2 ways.
He is the first round, other than the top 3 picks.
But what I was saying was during the season too, when more people are active, we have a more of a market to actually go get those trades. During the off season, it's kind of like pick and choose.
Yeah.
But when it comes to moving picks, especially future picks, I'm hesitant because you're not like, oh, I have 2 2027s and a bunch of seconds or something. It's like, this is kind of your one big shot if anything goes wrong in 2026 or in 2027.
Yeah, I agree, even though I gave the approval earlier. But I do assume
when you buy a car, you need insurance.
I do think this is a pretty active league. Like, without having any intel or context, the fact that there are a couple teams that have so many picks in the first round, to me that reads as they were put some messages out willing to move players for picks, and then multiple teams were coming to that and giving their first for a player, their second for a player. Which I think is a sign of a pretty active league when there's a couple teams that have so many picks. People have to play ball for a team to have 8 first round picks, Oof. What's up, gents? Pissed off Ravens fan here. Yeah.
I feel for you.
I got nothing.
I told Will, I was like, maybe we should try to do a physical on stream. Maybe that's
Can I tell you guys something? I learned about the Max Crosby thing from you telling me that just now. So when you first brought up doing a physical, I was like, is he making a reference to when we talked about doing like a combine for us like last week? I was like, I don't know how interesting like it's a physical would be.
It's full circle.
Yeah. I would I don't know. We'll see. I haven't been working out recently. I don't know if I'd still be on the stream. I don't know if I'm passing a Dynasty Daddy physical right now. Actually, no. Okay, I haven't been working out, but I did play pickup last night. All right, guys. I am not amazing at basketball, but I am some of the guys actually watch the stream, so I got to be careful about what I say here. I am one of the better players that goes, but mostly because it's a group of guys who are like, I don't think anybody played in college or anything. Like, it's just all like dudes who like played in high school and stuff. But somebody asked me first time they went, and they said, "Hey man, where'd you play?" Ooh, where'd I play? Oh, what do you mean? And I told him what high school I went to, and he's like, "Oh, did you play college?" I was like, "Oh no, man, I didn't play." All right, there we go. That's Will's.
You've been living off that high. You've been living off that high all week.
Ego pump high after winning the yearly checkup. Yeah, we do that. Poor Trevor.
I did see someone post. Like, someone tweeted, it was like, oh, like, I'll shave my head if the Ravens get Max Crosby. And then he just posted, like, 30 minutes before he failed the physical that he shaved his head, like his picture and everything. And everyone's like, dude, like, what are the odds that you shave your head and then it's like a psych?
That's brutal. All right, so that's insane. I'm sorry, I'm like stunned by like the understanding or like the feeling you guys all got when you saw that report. You know what it is? I probably tuned out so much of like actual NFL news. I'm so fantasy brained that like the biggest defensive trade player news.
I don't care.
I don't get any points for Max Crosby sack.
Hey, the IDP fans will be sad.
There we go. True. All right, I'm gonna check. I think we have one or two more live stream asks.
We have Big Diaz.
How could we forget Max Carnage? The first message in the chat.
It's a 10-minute guarantee.
The live stream ask club. Man, how was the live stream ask club getting the last message? This is my sincerest apologies, Diaz. All right. All right, Jeremy. What pick are you sending for Kenneth Walker in this class 2026 while I'm getting this set up?
The 107. I think that's going to be where
yeah,
all those big running backs are. Anyone that's somewhat questionable. I like the 106 and above. I'm like, okay, you're probably landing top wide receiver, top tight end, top quarterback, top running back. After that, I feel fine saying I just need the production. Here's the 107.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a pretty fair line. Like that's ahead of ETN, which I think most people kind of will have with the Kansas City hype landing spot, Super Bowl MVP. Thank you guys. Anytime, Larry. Thank you for popping in. And it's a pretty sick team.
You, Larry.
Someone was asking about a Bijan trade. All right, this is I kind of laughed at this because it was in relation to the trade that we've been yapping about this whole time, but compared to last year, is the 107 plus that less valued? So like the 107 to 112, and it's kind of tough to do this with past classes because it's kind of like you're retroactively comparing how the rookies performed in their rookie season to
you're like,
expectations for prospects.
So good and
right. Yeah. But if we're looking at, I'll say in terms of draft capital, if you are looking at the 107 to the 112, you okay, Diaz, the maximum carnage. Okay, I will show you my Google history. I looked that up and I was like, this is it's like a WWE something thing. And I was like, okay, maybe he went to, and I was like so lost. I was like, I'm just not even going to reference this and just say, what's up, Big Diaz, when he pulls. That's a peel behind the curtain, guys. I don't have a therapist. I'm very pro therapy, but I'll give you guys an inkling about how my brain works. All right. What was I talking about, Jeremy? Can you help me out? I'm lost in the sauce right now.
107.
Yes. Okay.
Well, we're going to do Big Diaz's live stream ask.
Which
then
I'm also
it became the Bijan trade, and then you started talking about the 107, and then the Max Carnage.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw one more thing in there. I want to see how many things. I'm kind of training my ADHD, and I want to see if I can.
I'm excited to see this full circle moment. Like how do you break it on?
I'm railing it tonight, guys. I'm railing it. You guys are getting okay. All right, the 107. Okay, so in terms of like purely draft capital, not even looking at prospects.
Yeah.
You are probably looking at 107 through 112, some sort of combination. I think when drafts are happening, let me know if you guys disagree. This is like in my brain what the 107, 112 looked like. You were looking at probably Igbuka, Judkins, RJ Harvey, the tight ends. So Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland. That is 5 players, right? So that's kind of 107 to 112. And then like some people were probably throwing in Jackson Dart as a first round quarterback in that kind of 112 range, even though people weren't like high on him as a prospect. So I think in terms of draft capital, that's a first round receiver in Igbuka. That is a early second round running back in Judkins. That is a mid-late second round running back in Harvey. I think Caleb Johnson was in there as well as a third round running back. The people were excited about the landing spot. You can throw his name in there.
Yeah, wait, Caleb Johnson. I don't know if you count Henderson in the top 6.
Right.
So
I think
Henderson, Judkins kind of were interchangeable last year.
And I think the tough thing is the like shots you get to take in that range, I think are going to be I think the pickings might be a little slim. So I think it might start at that 109 to 112 range. It's very possible that the 109 pick is a early second round receiver, which I'm not necessarily saying is like a terrible thing, but in terms of the context of, a lot of people, the 109 was a mid first tight end, one of the mid first tight ends, or an early second round running back that, had a good landing spot in terms of like immediate production. So I think that is kind of the thing, is in terms of expected draft capital, the like shots you get to take are probably going to be slimmer. But I do think the second tier of wide receivers is pretty deep. So I do think it wouldn't surprise me at all if we get, I know Boston, KC are getting first round buzz, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if like, Cooper is a name that's been getting first round buzz as well. And then I think there's a handful of receivers that are going to go in like the second.
I'm sure we'll probably get a running back, like a Price or something that gets
one good landing spot,
or Washington. I mean, I think the big thing, and like you touched on, is like there's the elite guys, and every class has the elite guys. It's that kind of second tier elite guys that this class has less of, but each class is different. I mean, with the Marvin Harrison Jr., Caleb Williams draft, people thought the drop off was at 3. Right? People are like, there's multiple tiers. This year's class, the tier just happens to be at the 106, 107, and it was at the 105 until Kenyon Sadiq performed very well in the combine, and now people are like, okay, he might have earned himself a locked in at 106 spots. So yeah, we'll have to see how everything rolls out. But I mean, every draft class is like trying to draw a line of the elite tiers, and outside of the 101, which is its own tier, we have this big tier of a bunch of solid draft capital wide receivers and Mendoza that are kind of its own thing. And then after that is kind of just this mystery box of we don't really know until we get to the draft. But every year has that. I mean, we have guys like Matthew Golden, where it's first round draft capital, but we didn't really know where we'd land. Like,
yeah,
it's something where it's a little blurry, and that's why I'm okay taking the 107 in some cases, especially if people are giving me a good value on it, because I think once all the dust settles, there'll be one player at the 107 that I'm interested in.
Yeah. And this is a good shout too. All the news for the last 48 hours don't mean yes, come on, it's family friendly. No, I'm just kidding. Doesn't mean crap now. Everything changes. Have I cussed? Do you think I've cussed on the Dynasty Daddy live streams? Or have I kept it family friendly?
I don't know. We'll have to. I'll watch them all back and see.
Review. I'll do a AI overview, review all these VODs, and let me know. The Linderbaum one, that's another one that doesn't get a graphic, but the Raiders attacking the offensive line, that is exciting, to say the least.
It's also funny because it was from the Ravens as well. So they traded, opened up cap space, signed a big contract. Some people say overpaid a center, and then they get the $30 million contract back. So
money to blow. Yeah,
that's
no Mike Evans for the Ravens. None of the contracts are official until Wednesday. Yeah, a lot of what was it, like it's not like signed, it's like agreed to terms, like that kind of language.
Yeah, agreed to terms type of language.
The classic. But I'd expect, I don't know, we'll see. Like, obviously, we just saw the craziest thing in terms of the physical, but I'd expect most of these juicy fantasy ones we're talking about to go through. Ooh, subtitle chip with a life update into the cleaning the living room. I like getting the subtitle chip updates on what's happening currently. Would you send Jackson Dart for the 102? I have Hurts and Jordan Love would be targeting the top wide receiver contender, defending champ, Bragg Handsome. Let's go.
Call Hurts. Me crazy. I think you can get more. Right. Like, what's the 102? Mendoza, Tate.
Yeah, I think
feel like you're talking Jackson Dart. Production, rushing upside.
Okay, it's single quarterback.
Oh, okay.
Then 1,000 times. That back. What pick? Yeah, I mean,
take the 102.
I mean, the 102 easy, and I like doing these just to kind of.
Yeah, it's like what pick?
What pick would you actually?
But you're the one QB expert on the show.
I'm doing one. No, I always say this. I'm going to do one single quarterback league just to get a feel for it. But like, I do not want to be going in that startup and just being like, oh gosh, let me just have like 12 running backs and receivers, like straight picks.
Yeah.
Single quarterback. Jackson Dart. Dude,
I mean, I feel like I feel like I'm getting gross. I feel like it's like
I might.
106, 107. Like
I was about okay. I'm
equal
happy you said
quarterback?
that. I'm happy you said that because I was about to say, am I even in the first round? And I don't even like love the class. I probably
Yeah, like
108, 109, especially on a team where I have two strong quarterbacks. Like I'm probably at this point, like without seeing draft capital, I probably would be fine with like the 107, 108, where I feel like I'm at least getting my favorite pick of, if it's a second round receiver or if it's second round tight end or first round.
the hard thing too, and this might just be this team has a lot of quarterbacks, but if he has Hurts and Love, how many buyers are interested in Jackson Dart? Like you got to hope there's a Giants fan in there because to me, if you have Hurts, Love, and Dart, it tells me it's probably a shallow league,
Yeah.
and that a lot of teams probably already have Trevor Lawrence, Brock Purdy. Like everyone has a quarterback they feel good about and aren't going to send a first round pick for.
Yeah. No, you need to exploit this individual that is trying to get Jackson Dart for the 102.
Yeah, I mean, you just toss everything. I mean, you give him Jalen Hurts.
And then this is a good shot too. Dart or Love though, and in a single quarterback too. I mean, I think Dart is valued higher on Love, value higher than Love a couple spots. Let's see, I've got
Dart has
Daddy
the rushing
here.
upside and
14,
more
10.
the consistency.
Yeah, I think
like Love is in a run first offense kind of like that's
just
what
lost.
they like to do. Is they'll just sometimes
Just lost Romeo Doubs.
Yeah,
Potentially.
Jaden Reed season
Terms. Oh, let's go. Yeah,
but,
I haven't even done my. I haven't allowed myself to like. I was so in on
Hitch your wagon to a hype
Dontavian.
train.
Well, I was so in on Dontavian Wicks and Christian Watson, like starting with the Rodgers years, and not last year, which would have been great to get back in on Christian Watson last year. But yeah, Matthew Golden. Gosh, that's the hilarious thing. We're talking about like Jaden Reed season, Christian Watson season, Tucker Kraft season, Dontavian Wicks season.
All these crusties are coming back.
It really is just Josh Jacobs, Emmanuel Wilson. Actually, is it going to be Josh Jacobs season?
Yeah.
We'll see. Scheduling the text now. Fantasy fathers always provide. Oh, fantasy fathers. That's like us in season.
Yeah, that's me when you're putting us on the TV and
for your children.
JD's wife can hear us. We're the fantasy fathers. Yeah.
We'll teach your kids about Dynasty.
Buttoned up.
We should do an intro for like elementary, middle school kids to get into fantasy and Dynasty football. I want to start kids young. I don't want the redraft pipeline. No redraft pipeline. People have access to information.
No, you have to start them redraft. You have to start them redraft.
No. Here's what you do. You find
it's too overwhelming. It's too overwhelming.
I want Dynasty Daddy advertisements on specifically Madden franchise mode. If I have a middle schooler playing Madden franchise mode, I want them to get an advertisement targeted for Dynasty.
I'll call EA. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. It just that. It doesn't need to be anywhere else. Like I don't need to be on the main page or Madden Ultimate Team maybe. I don't know. We'll see. If we start making good money, we start getting in the double digits. Nickelodeon stream like they do for the cheese. All right, I'm gonna stop clicking Trevor messages. We can lock in here real quick. we got the Diaz super chat.
We got to help out. We have to help out Diaz.
Live stream ask. I know this was the. I apologize for us being late on this one, and then we just take forever on a question. So I'm getting the double apologies. All right, here we go. This team is sick. This is a 12 by 10 full PPR, 0.510 in premium, 6-point passing touchdown. Drake May, Lamar, Genty, Henry, Tootin, Mason, Chase, Amon-Ra, Devontae Adams, Parker Washington, Stephon Diggs, Stubbs, Bowers, Gadsden, 3 firsts in 2027. Woo, sheesh. All right. Send AJ Brown to get Dubs and a mid-27 first. We took too long. Did this deal happen? We took too long. I do like this trade though, especially on this team. Offseason, this is the part of my process. Offseason, I bank and chip value. We took way too long. He was like, I know this is a good deal. I don't even know why I'm asking these two idiots to talk about this.
Maybe it was just like I already did it, and like it's like a conversation piece.
Okay, that's fair. But no, this is a offseason I bank and chip value, then use liquidity in season to buy win now. Stop setting lineups in March. This is, Diaz. This is we need to give like his own like a Diaz corner. I need to find a better alliteration than that, but this is just like, this is money, man. You turn.
We should have a Diaz corner moment. We'll have to make a little graphic.
And look at that. Yeah, man. betting Dubs to New England. By the time I woke up this morning, yeah, that's crazy. What a bet. Good shout.
I mean, I like Dubs, and I mean, ultimately, you're getting a first plus
Right.
for AJ Brown
With this
which,
wide
to
receiver
me,
room.
I mean, it's a great move.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a 27 first too, so you get the hype of the class. You look at this team, no 20. It's obviously a contender, solid contender, amazing team. No 26 picks, but you got so much in 27.
Oh.
There's no concerns if anyone gets injured on this team.
Flexibility.
This is exactly where you want to be.
And yeah, dude, I'm going to give them the slaps when you have like a sick contending team and you have multiple picks in the next year. That's the Diaz. The Diaz. I'll come up with more D words that are YouTube appropriate. Diaz. We'll get you a little corner for your Diaz tips. Dang. That's a banger
Diaz
trade.
discussion.
We should have done, man. I can't believe that one was reversed. Diaz. That we could have knocked that out in like 7 seconds. That was such a good trade. Let's go.
That's a fleece. Similar to a Bijan trade, I remember.
True. Yeah, which trade was like way worse for the other side, you guys think? The guys, you're not gonna believe this. My contact at EA Sports loves the idea. He wants to schedule a meeting immediately. Let's go. And in this fake universe, I'm imagining that the EA Sports contact, you didn't text him or her, they texted you and were like, "Hey, I'm watching the Dynasty Daddy live stream. I know you've been messaging in there.
I have it on my big screen.
Let's get this.
Me and my wife are watching the live stream.
Tell them to send us the assets, and we'll get it with the brand review team." Speaking of Bijan,
it's that easy.
All right. Are we through the live stream asks, or was there another one? I'm so bad at keeping track of these.
I think we're all caught up.
Wait, are we going back to free agency? What do we we can crank out some free agency, finish out in this last
have
we had all the free agents?
I think we have how many are on here?
All right, we're not going to go through each individually.
29, and we've been through 5.
You want a quick hitter? Guys, look at Jeremy. We want to go to bed or something, Jeremy? No, that's fine. Let's no. I don't mean it like that. We can finish out QB pretty quick here. We did Tua already.
We're not done with the quarterbacks yet.
We already did the Minshew Brissett.
Sorry, you have your Minshew moment. You want to talk about Minshew?
Look at how pretty he looks. Isn't that crazy? I do not use AI.
The hair with the red, the Cardinals desert red. I don't know. I don't trust it.
That's fair.
I like the more of the mullet look in Jacksonville. That fit him better. It's kind of just like a maniac.
If you removed the Minshew beard, I went with this girl to see Twilight in high school. So, and we can move on from there. Okay.
I'm glad we touched on the quarterbacks.
There we go. All right. All right. I thought this was supposed to be running backs. So while I get the running backs one set up, let's go to wide receivers. It's just another quarterbacks one. I made a running backs one. It exists, guys. There it is. Okay, I pulled up the running backs one. We'll do running backs.
There we go. This is going well.
Bang. Could be worse, honestly, and it's been a lot worse. So we're good. This is probably a fun stream to watch back. Maybe people let us know in the comments if you're watching this back and you're like, "What is going on?" But I'm having a good time. Let us know. Or if you're having a bad time, we can take the feedback and adjust. All right. We talked about ETN a little bit. I know we looked at
I think we touched ETN pretty well.
Monster money deals. And this is another one too, where like we can kind of get into and some of the specifics for
Saints
some
have
of
a
these
different
are
salary cap, man. The Saints just have more money than
you know what people. It is? You know what it is? They're like, dude, we're about to get Taysom Hill off our books. All this like
honestly,
dead cap,
$140 million Taysom Hill contract.
And we don't know the specifics too. Like it's like a 13 like they're the dead cap, these running back numbers, like this is not fully 4-year 52
million.
millions,
I mean it's obviously the full bloated number that has the non-guaranteed money.
Do not
I feel like
I'm sorry. The insinuation that if you didn't have a beard and grew your hair out, you would look like a girl I went on a date with freshman year of high school. I was not ready for that. Becca's having a good time though.
We got to.
What's up, Becca? How you doing? Obviously great. All right, next running back. Oh, Pacheco. All right.
Pacheco? We're at Pacheco?
No. Okay,
Pacheco got 24 million?
no, you know what that is? That is a wide receiver that got a 3-year, $24 million deal that I did
Your
not
lines
pay.
got fleeced worse than you did.
All right, you're gonna make a new graphic. No, the thing is, I don't even think we got terms on the Pacheco deal at all. Like, I think it was just he's gonna sign there.
Yeah. That's all I heard.
All right, I'll fix the Pacheco one real quick while we're.
No, you're fine.
Good call out though. Good call out.
Yep.
All right. Ken Walker, we talked about a little bit. I know you said the 107 was your pick. You'd move straight up for Ken Walker on a contender.
Yeah, I think both ETN and Walker are guys that I'd move the 107 for at that range. I mean, they got big money. They're kind of bell cow-ish roles. I mean, I don't think Kamara is someone that I'm super concerned with, and obviously, like the ghost of Kareem Hunt isn't a threat to what Kenneth Walker can do. So hopefully, we actually get a Kenneth Walker that doesn't have Charbonnet taking all the goal line snaps and things like that. Hopefully, we actually get a full workload Kenneth Walker that we saw in the postseason.
The thing too with the Chiefs running back, like there were some usable Kareem Hunt weeks, even just last year, and obviously the year before that as well. Do you remember Carson Steele? Shout out to Carson Steele, man. Sorry, that name just like flew through my brain.
Someone traded like a 3rd-round pick in one of the leagues I was in. I'm like, oh man, like,
Carson Steele is going to be like the best. Remember that guy. Not right now because it's too soon, but like 10 years from now, instead of me bringing
years,
up
that would be a good one.
Okay, I'm locking in. We're gonna crank through these. What I wanted to say about Ken Walker is, like, in terms of like difference between explosive run rate, what the Chiefs got from Kareem Hunt and Pacheco last season versus what Ken Walker is just like as a player his whole career with the Seahawks is very exciting. And I think Ken Walker is like a capable enough pass catcher. Like, I feel like he gets like dogged as like a bad pass catcher, but he's just not necessarily like, running crazy routes. But I think out of the backfield, right? I think out of the backfield with, Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs offense. And he's got,
I mean, you saw it in the playoffs. I mean, he did it all the time in the playoffs
MVP
for the Seahawks. Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right. Jeremy's one chaotic comment away from losing it. Who makes the most chaotic comments in the relationship? And then we'll move on to J.K. Dobbins.
Whew. We got some couples therapy. Who makes the most chaotic questions?
We can let Becca answer.
Tyler Algier.
Tyler Algier. Oh, you want to skip Dobbins?
Dobbins did resign. I like Dobbins there.
Yeah, I guess the re-signing is less exciting to talk about. I think you were always expecting a running back to be brought into Denver when you were hearing their names brought up with like a lot of these bigger name free agents. I do like having Dobbins back in terms of like Dobbins upside, because I think there's a chance he could have turned into what Pacheco. Wow, I said that kind of funky. What Pacheco is probably going to be for the Lions.
You got to get used to it. He's on your team now.
Yeah, that's true. Isaiah Pacheco. I think there's a chance he could have gotten that kind of role where it's with like, he is 100% the grinder next to this like stud. And I think he probably has a more likely chance to kind of hold on to that, 60-40, 50-50 role that he had pre-injury. But we'll see. I like Harvey. I just don't think
RJ Harvey is like,
he's just in his
role.
He's
like the Amazon Basics version of like Gibbs, like one of those like pass catching.
They're going to say Kenny Gainwell.
Satellite type backs.
So
Dobbins here has more upside than like a Pacheco, because obviously Gibbs is just so efficient and so good everywhere on the field, whereas RJ Harvey had some efficiency issues. I know people have been dogging him. He's been one of the most traded players in the past month on Dynasty Daddy, just because people are like, is he really going to take that next step in terms of efficiency? And I think bringing back Dobbins is at least nice, because you kind of know what that's going to look like. Dobbins is going to have a significant role, but RJ Harvey will probably have a little bit more than he had before Dobbins went down.
Yeah. And I mean, Dobbins, just, obviously the injury last year, but 11, 12 points per game last season, like,
yeah,
for the price solid. You could have gotten and can get Dobbins for, I think that is fine. And I think he, I don't know, would you move like a late second, or are you still in the 3rd round range for Dobbins if you were just like, let me buy some gross running backs? I assume you would probably point to other running backs you'd rather buy than like Dobbins for a late second or an early 3rd, but
yeah, I'm looking for like a 3rd. Maybe I toss in like gross wide receiver that people might like.
Yeah, more of a throw in, I think, than a targeted
Yeah.
late second. He's probably in the third round range.
To get a single second's a lot.
Yeah. All right, and then Algier. This is an interesting one. You got James Conner taking a pay cut to come back, and then you obviously still have Benson there. Tyler Algier, 2 years, $12 million.
I'm curious the money. Is that the actual contract?
That's what I saw.
Okay.
I would take.
I'll
just say, obviously, the Pacheco one is like at just 100% wrong, but I would take all these with several grains of salt. One, because none of this is like fully confirmed. These are all terms that you're hearing, like agreed to terms, and then obviously the Wednesday tomorrow being the actual like this all opens. But that's what I saw reporting was 2 years, $12 million. 12.25.
I just was curious because that it's all right money, but it doesn't scream it doesn't scream to me like locked in 100% guaranteed starting role type money that I kind of thought Algier would have gotten, to be honest.
Yeah.
I thought he would have been closer to Dobbins getting 20 mil than he kind of a backup role. I mean, I think the biggest loser is probably like a Trey Benson who didn't, Connor went down, wasn't really able to convince anyone that he deserves to be there or like be the starter. And I know he got banged up, but still like didn't take use of that opportunity. And then the second they changed staff, they're like, yeah, we need to bring in someone else. And Algier is someone that is he's not just a nobody. It's not, you didn't just bring in even like a Pacheco type. He's someone that could assume a role of a true, 3-down back for a team. And
to like the goal line role and stuff. Like obviously all the work he took away from Bijan. Like we'll see how all that shakes out. It's always tough. Veteran running backs coming off an injury. James Conner, I never want to bet against dogs like James Conner, but at his age, coming off the injury,
he beat cancer.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, the doggest of dogs. This is literally beating cancer.
This is not the hardest thing he's overcome. So.
Yeah, Tyler Algier is not as scary as cancer for sure. But no, I think it is a little bit of a sign, especially coming off the injury, that this will be a gross-ish split backfield, and all the cheap James Conner I bought, I am a lot less excited about.
Now for this next one, I'm a little confused. There's 2 Gainwells here.
Oh, man. Okay, you know what? Guys, I took it upon myself through the workday to build the graphic with a sick daughter, guys.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Which Kenny Gainwell you want to talk about first? Rico Dowdle, Kenny Gainwell? We can talk about Rico Dowdle, Kenny Gainwell first. Because I think the exciting thing, I don't know if everyone remembers, Rico Dowdle's coach on the Dallas Cowboys. It's McCarthy, who is the coach for the Steelers. A little familiarity, bringing that in. I do think the money is right. True. 2 years, $12 million. I do think my assumption would be that Rico is Jaylen Warren and Jaylen Warren is Kenny Gainwell, potentially, if they kind of are running back. But obviously schemes and systems and everything. And if it's not Rodgers there, I'm not making that kind of bet.
They might use him completely differently too.
Right.
I mean, even if Rodgers comes back, it's like you're going from Mike Tomlin to McCarthy. But I do like the signing. I think it is weird. I know everyone was thinking that Gainwell would be brought back, but Rico Dowdle, Gainwell is an interesting role. But I'm happy he landed in a good spot. Got a 2-year contract as a Panthers fan. I know we wouldn't offer him one, but I think he's shown he can overcome things, and Jaylen Warren is not locked in to be like a massive threat. I think obviously Jaylen Warren's good, but I guess the one question here would be like, what's the pulse check 1 to 10 for Caleb Johnson?
Oh
like,
my!
Is this like?
Can we? Okay, like, you're making me
under the ocean.
Is 1 the starting point, or can I hit some decimal points? Is that possible? Can we start at 0?
I think if it's like the meme of like the kid jumping into the water with the mom, and the kid is Ashton Jeanty, and then the other kid that's like drowning is RJ Harvey, and then the kid at the bottom of the ocean is Caleb Johnson.
I would even go lower than that potentially, but yeah, you get the new coach, like the new coaching staff stuff always gives that like 0.5% glimmer of hope for someone that wasn't involved last year. But to me, it's just unless they cleaned out the entire house and reports were coming out right now. I can't believe they didn't use it. I don't see it, man. The getting absolutely no run. And don't get me wrong, Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell 100% should be running backs in the NFL that are getting touches. Like that is just a fact. Mm-hmm. But so is Rico Dowdle. So I don't know.
Especially after a year,
3 years from now
as well.
We'll see.
Should we hit this question before diving into the other players?
Yeah. All right, we've got Aman Bueno here, and I did a pre-read. I believe this is projected instead of protected.
Okay.
It's about a projected first, but a protected first in Dynasty would be interesting.
Protected picks would be fun.
What if it was like you could do if like I'm trading for your future first, if that year you make the playoffs, it bumps to the next year first or something, or like I have the choice to bump it to the next year's first. That I'm
sure there's leagues like that. That would be crazy though. That'd be hard to keep track of though. It'd be like the NBA where it's like pick swaps.
I can barely keep track of people who have paid in the leagues that I can.
Well, there's one protection I think in the NBA that's like it's top 3 protected and then like 9 through 20 something protected. And it's like, okay, you got to get like right in the sweet spot to get this pick.
Yeah. But okay, put that aside, would it make sense to trade a future 28 first? That should be late. I have a great team, and a 28 late second for the 110 this year and a 28 third. I think if my team is already good, I like holding on the future picks for flexibility because one, I usually, when I have like these great teams and I don't feel the need to like add anything or be taking shots, I want all of my players that can turn into liquidity to be turned into liquidity in the form of future picks. 2028 does make it kind of tough. Like the time value of money is tough, but already this next year, I think 2 years out, people aren't too sketched about. And maybe it's the hype of the 2027 class, but I feel like heading into this last season, 27 picks carried similar weight to 26 picks. Or obviously we're even hyped a little bit more. So I'm probably holding on to the 2028 pick.
Yeah, I mean, not to completely echo what Will said, but I think...
Do it.
I think my question would be like, how would you project a 2028 to be a late pick?
That's true.
And then 2, you're trading a 2028 pick for a late 26 pick. So it's not even like I don't know. For me, it would be if you're on the clock, if there's some player falling really fast and you're like, I really want this player, I could understand it. Just to be like, I need a pick in this class since the 110 is supposed to be a weaker class. That to me, where I'm like, nah, like let me keep my flexibility. Mm-hmm. No one really knows about the 2028 class. But what we saw this year, and what people aren't talking about 2027, is this year we saw Dante Moore. We saw other players say, hey, I'm actually going to go back. I'm going to go back to NIL. Dante Moore would have been the number 2 pick in the NFL draft and would have been guaranteed crazy amounts of money, and he still wanted to go back. Maybe he just hates the Jets, which I don't blame him, but... But what I'm saying is we think this 2027 class is so loaded. Some of these players are going to go back. That's just how it is. And it's going to roll into the 2028 class. And no one really knows a ton, unless if you're crazy into Debbie. No one really knows a ton of talent in 2028. I don't want to move off of those picks, especially for the 110. Now, if there's like someone offer me the 104 or something interesting, that's cool, but projecting out my 2028 to be the 110 or later, and I'm trading up for the 110, I'm like, I'm already setting myself up to lose unless I somehow win in 2028, which I can't guarantee. I can't control the outcome right now.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll add onto this is first round picks, like in all your leagues that are like 12 by 9, 12 by 10s that are super hard to consolidate and take multiple players and turn it into an upgrade. First round picks carry weight still in those leagues, especially future ones. Mm-hmm. So when you move a 28 first for the 110 and you pick Denzel Boston, and he has a fine rookie season, but like not difference making, and he's a wide receiver 3, and it's like, okay, cool. I have Matthew Golden, but what do I do with this guy? I can't really add him onto anything. Somebody will buy him for a second plus a player, whatever. But you can take that 28 first and add it onto a player to get up to Josh Allen with a QB upgrade, to get up to Bijan from, the second tier of running backs. Like those trades can get done. So I don't want to move that flexibility. Bang, back over to the Kenny Gainwell chart. And let's talk about Kenny Gainwell. The second one, Tampa Bay. This is
Gainwell.
It's a pretty juicy spot for Kenny Gainwell, especially if you lose White.
Slide into the Rachaad White role.
I that would make sense to me. And the only so obviously for Bucky purposes, reaction like to how this is impacting other players. You don't love seeing a pass catcher satellite running back being added to a backfield, but we saw it last year with Rachaad White, and I think he's even more likely, Bucky, to. My hope is he's able to hold on to the goal line role that we saw the rookie season that seemed like he lost with Sean Tucker this last year. So if, you lose some of that third down, 2-minute satellite stuff to Kenny Gainwell, but you're dominating the early touch workload and he's getting 14, 15 carries and he has the goal line stuff. And I'm sorry, there is not an NFL offense in the entire league that is not trying to get Bucky Irving 3-4 targets a game. Like that is just, that is malpractice if that's the case. So, all right, that was my little quick Bucky bag defend. You have any other Gainwell notes? You think he's an interesting buy?
I think he would be interesting if he was in Pittsburgh. Right, I think that's where he kind of holds his value.
Yeah,
I do think he will have a role, but let's not act like Kenny Gainwell is the same caliber of player. He's been in the league so many years, and most people probably didn't even know he was a player. I mean, he probably wasn't rostered in most leagues until like halfway through last season. So when it comes to like Gainwell, I'm not worried about Bucky. I do think it's kind of just the Rachaad White security blanket of we get a guy that can operate as a pass catcher. That being said, I don't know. I expect the production to be certainly lower. So I'm not as high on him, but again, it's a running back. He has a role. Bucky Irving's also dealt with injuries last year. Some of those can linger. Some can show up again. He wouldn't be a bad handcuff in a situation where they do like to utilize the running backs a lot in screens and in a lot of passing game.
Yeah. Dude, 73 receptions for Kenny Gainwell last year.
I think he led the Steelers. I think he led the Steelers in receptions. Yeah, it was like ridiculous.
Jeez. Yeah, I'm not moving down Bucky. Let's do a quick. I think Bucky is the more interesting combo point. So I'm going to give you 2 names quick. All right. Bucky or Brees?
Bucky.
Yeah, I'm still Bucky. Bucky or Trayvon Henderson?
Bucky.
Same. All right, contending team, Bucky or CMC?
CMC.
Okay. All right. That's like right where Bucky's slotted in right now, and then James Cook is the next name up there. So I'm with you. I'm not moving him down, because it's like Judkins, Chase Brown, Saquon, Kyron are the next names. Kenneth Walker's going to shoot up. He's at RB17 right now, but yeah. All right, Bucky or
Gainwell.
Bucky or Kenneth Walker.
Gainwell didn't have more than 50% starting rate until week 13 of last year.
And then I bet you that was at 90, probably not that high, but
going up
with like how many?
It hovered at 50 and got up to 62.
Okay. All right. Quick, Bucky or Kenneth Walker?
Bucky or Kenneth Walker? Definitely Bucky.
Definitely Bucky. Okay. I don't disagree, but I think a lot of the streets would disagree. I think the Kenneth Walker offseason.
Are people that high on Kenneth Walker?
We've been praying, I think, for a running back to go to the Chiefs. And I think the last good running backs that people envision with the Chiefs were Jamal Charles into like the Kareem Hunt stud years. And then I think I don't know, man. I like Kenny Walker. I think he's pretty good. The production we saw.
I mean, I do.
Post
I think
Charbonnet injury.
Bucky's just exciting.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Bucky.
You'll never talk me out of loving Bucky, so I don't need to have this one spot
Bucky
debate.
has like top 5 upside. Like Kenneth Walker, because you know what's the conversation will be? Week 6, week 10, it's gonna be like, well, he's like 26. He's a running back that's 26. You need to sell. Like he doesn't have the value growth, I guess. Like if I'm a contender, yes, I'm gonna buy him. I feel good about it. I feel good starting him in redraft leagues. Dynasty wise, the insulation and the value that Bucky will just have being on my team is worth way more, and he has, he's probably going to be a better performer if healthy.
Yeah. All right, we don't need to touch on.
We don't have Mahomes. Like we don't really know what the Mahomes situation will look like coming off injury as well.
Yeah. All right, real quick, I think the David Montgomery, Pacheco, we can touch on really quick. Both of these take with all the grains of salt that you could possibly have. The 2-year, $18 million is the extension the Lions gave David Montgomery a couple seasons ago, and then the Pacheco 3-year, $24 million is not true or real life money at all. That was a mistake. But the Pacheco role, I imagine,
picture is
he's ready. He's got that grit. He's gonna bite a kneecap right now. Or maybe that's post kneecap bite.
Do you have a moment for Montgomery? I know he's kind of like a culture guy.
Yeah, I feel bad. I get too, I think, ingrained in like the NFL fantasy dynasty thing of everything that sometimes I think I need to take a step back and appreciate. He had a really long, like it was like a 10-minute message or something that he like talked about like how much he appreciated the city and all the people and everything. And I get it, man. He definitely was not getting the usage that I think he was accustomed to, obviously with the Bears and then a couple first seasons with the Lions. Shout out to Dave Montgomery, absolute dog. Everyone needs to watch the Witherspoon truck stick that he had in that Seahawks. I think it was a primetime game. It was beautiful. I'll pull it up. I would pull it up on stream, but I'm just going to post it in the Discord. Shout out to Dave Montgomery. So join the Discord, link in the description if you want to see me post that highlight. Dang. All right, the wide receivers. I'm sure we'll have trade conversations. I know we're hitting like the 2-hour point. And some of these, actually, I guess most of these are all 100% new. Let's
which one's your favorite and which one's your least favorite?
All right, most favorite is going to be Mike Evans with the expectation that Juwan Jennings is somewhere else.
Yeah.
If we're just talking about like 1 year production bet, I know it's like a pretty monster deal, but I think like overall offense, scoring upside, like all of the Kittle hurt to start the season, what that's going to look like, Juwan Jennings out of there. No Kendrick Bourne. Obviously, you see lower down there, he's with the Cardinals. That one is pretty juicy. But there's some interesting ones. I think the big Dubs deal, the Wan'Dale Robinson reuniting with Dayball in Tennessee, I think is exciting. Obviously, DJ Moore. Anytime there's a Bills wide receiver signing, I'll ask you. I want to hear yours, your favorite, and then I also want to ask you a follow up question. Unrelated. I don't know why I said follow up. Yeah. How many I think Amari Cooper vibes are you getting with DJ Moore going to the Bills?
Oh yeah. Okay, for my favorite, I'll start with that. I'll say Pittman. I think the Pittman was a good value in terms of I don't know if it was a trade, but like it was a good value for them and fits their like he's a good complement to DK Metcalf and they don't have to spend
it was a late
4 years, 114 million. I think it was a late swap.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good deal to actually get a solid wide receiver 2. Then they can figure out what the 3+ looks like. But to me, I think that was a phenomenal deal. Pittman looked pretty solid.
Big contract.
When Daniel Jones was there as well. So I thought that was a decent signing. Kind of under the radar. I know Dobbs and Robinson. I feel like those ones are just like, I'm like, how much better is Robinson and Dobbs than a Pittman? I'm like, I don't really know. It's probably just the age premium that these teams are willing to pay more. So I like the kind of the value that the Steelers got there.
Yeah.
I don't understand giving up a second round pick for DJ Moore, but obviously I think DJ Moore is an interesting spot with Buffalo.
Yeah. The investment.
I don't think DJ Moore is like at his Amari Cooper phase in terms of talent, but I do think the question is like, why did the Bears not go to the NFC Championship game? it was because he quit on a route. Yeah, and Caleb threw the interception because he just quit on the route. Like, and there's a ton of plays where he just kind of didn't follow through, and I don't know if it was just like vibes, like toxic workplace. He's like, I'm done with it. But it's also like, why are you quitting on routes in the biggest moments, like high stakes moments? You're quitting on routes. You're not being a quality teammate, and I could see that being. He doesn't get the big diva label that like Puka Nacua now has, but I'm like, I do question like the consistency of like, is he going to be there when the quarterback thinks he will be?
Yeah.
And giving up a second round pick to me is just not a good bargain. I will also add, I think my most like WTF one is definitely Jalen Naylor. Like, what the hell was that?
Hey, he had some weeks last year. But yeah.
What was that though?
I'm kind of with you.
35 mil? Like, what is that?
Yeah, I wonder what the actual, and I know Curtis had a question about the Mike Evans, like what do the guarantees look like? When does San Francisco have it now? I don't know if we have like full details on like cap stuff for like a lot of these deals are like terms agreed. So you get the like 3-4 year or whatever, and then it's like an estimate for what like the annual salary, obviously the annual salaries you can kind of piece together, but the cap hits and dead cap years, I'd assume there's like a second year out, but like it being, and it was 3. It was 342. Maybe next time I won't include the money on these expected ones. But yeah, it was 342, which probably looks like 2 with like a pretty easy out the third year, especially with where Evan's at in his career. But
yeah, Evan, yeah,
I feel like you won't play out the full contract. I would be a little bit surprised if the contract was like so many guarantees and he actually does play out the third year. But wouldn't surprise me at all if we get 2 years of Evans. I mean, if Evans has a monster year in San Francisco, like, you think he's just hanging it up if he's like still balling? And I don't know, you giving that kind of money to somebody who's not going to ball?
Good spot.
Yeah,
I think I could see them making the playoff run and him enjoying the spot. You know, the substation, feeling energized.
Memes. Oh, the memes are or feeling something.
I mean, I do. I imagine he probably got 2 years left, but
yeah.
Yeah, I also do think the 49ers are in a weird spot, kind of, in terms of like their age. Like a couple of years ago, they were like, yeah, they're the premier place to be. Now it's kind of, you know, it's like a retirement home community where, you know, I'm like, okay, like I'm scared just watching these guys like walk down the stairs. I don't know if I want to see them play on the football field.
All right.
I do have concerns about the health, and you know, you got that substation thing. So I'm not a scientist, but you know,
we just need to know where the CMC rituals are at. If he's still performing those for next year, or if like the Kittle sacrifice at the end of last year, you know, heading into the playoffs and everything was enough to hold over CMC for the start of this next year. We'll see.
I'm looking on this tight end graphic. I do not see Tunges. Where's the Tunges? That's the big one that we're all waiting for.
Did we get Tunges news?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, you just want to make it the Tunges joke. Okay. Wait, tight end prospect may have dashed his way out of 49ers. Oh no. That was a Niner noise report for I think they did a mock draft.
You could tell, dashed his way out.
All right, real quick.
A little of that creative flair.
If I can expose myself, you see that 4-year, $52 million Evans in the top left? 4-year, $52 million ETN. That was made the running back chart first, and then copied over to make the wide receiver chart.
Well, it's okay. You know that you went above and beyond here.
Thanks, Jeremy.
At least it wasn't Gainwell.
True. There's only one name of every player. Yeah, I think wide receiver wise, like Shaheed resigning, we'll see what the route stuff looks like. It was pretty. I mean, mid-season trades are always tough. Like obviously we saw through the playoffs as well, but you know, hopefully full off season we see a lot more Shaheed than we see of Cooper Kupp is where I'm at. Mm-hmm. And maybe even Torrey Horton too. All right, tight ends. Is it time? Actually, real quick, I just saw this. Shout out to Dynasty Jake. We made a joke about you bringing up the Carolina Panthers defensive signings and the linebackers. So we're curious your take on those.
Right in the beginning. Yeah.
Right. At the 2 hour and 10 minute, I'm going to make a note. Maybe we can change the title of the stream in parentheses, like Dynasty Jake, Carolina Panthers breakdown, 2 hours, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, new idea for the site. During rookie drafts, is there a way you can analyze a team's roster and recommend a draft pick for them based on best player available? My home league has a few rookies that could probably benefit from a tool like this. That's interesting.
I think it's a cool idea. I do plan on going back because the big thing I want to do is I do have the live draft support, but you have to keep refreshing the page to update with the new removed players. So I want to make it sync better. I do think that's an interesting idea of kind of like when you're when the board's going on and be like, hey, this guy might be the best one to fit your team construction currently. It gets a little tricky with startup drafts and stuff because like you have to like kind of do a roster ratings like halfway through and be like, okay, well you're 4 rounds in, like there's a million ways you can kind of build your team.
And when trades get made
it's hard to recommend that, but it's easier with like rookie pick like drafts because like your team can only change so much with a rookie draft.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the site itself too, like if the people are familiar enough with the site and it's like like an 8-hour timer type of draft, I think like them having access to like the power rankings and getting to take a look at like a snapshot of their team. Because I agree. I do think it is. Like before Dynasty Daddy, when me analyzing my teams was like, what do my wide receivers look like on this team? And I'm like scrolling on my phone or trying to pull up on the computer. I'm making an Excel sheet.
I made it. I was like, I'm like, even Sleeper and like, I first started on Flea Flicker. And it's like, I had like 8 different pages up for one Dynasty league. I'm like, how do people even do this?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I was like, I just need something that's like easy. And like, especially Sleeper Mobile is like, it's nice. Sleeper's done amazing things, but it's also like tedious to be like, oh wait, who has what player? Like, especially when you're trying to craft a trade. So I mean, I do like the idea of kind of looking into that on the clock style, adding in a little bit more data and recommendations off of that. So I do plan on doing some of that. Might not be exactly that, but I do plan on working on the draft tool in the next few weeks or so.
This was the I'll quick show this. This was the Will's Dynasty League teams Excel chart that I stopped updating. I still kind of updated it just because I had referenced it for so like the couple years before. Like
old habits die hard.
Yeah. So no, this is the classic. I feel like a lot of people have and I would even do I got the underdog snapshot of like the rankings that I would kind of like get a feel for like player rankings heading into the season and stuff. This is what I used to do. You bold the players are starting. Shout out to Alvin Kamara being bolded up there. That one didn't work out too well. But wait, I won this
Either
league.
Did James Conner, J.K. Dobbins.
Hey, I won. That's all that matters, right? Jamar Chase. Turns out Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, pretty good at scoring fantasy points.
That'll do a lot. That'll do a lot. Yeah.
What is good, Beast Knights?
I do feel like it's always funny whenever you do like a home league draft or like an in-person draft. There's always like people on their laptops, and it's just like people just making these weirdest spreadsheets. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, I am a software developer, but I have never gotten familiar with Excel. So it's like a complete, I don't know much outside of like, you can click in the corner and like pull down and it'll like sometimes count numbers down based on things. But I don't know how to do any of the VLOOKUPs and the pivot tables and all of that.
I had to take a VLOOKUP was a part of one of my job interviews. They made me do a VLOOKUP live in front of people. That was I was out of college too. And like a little stressful because I knew that it was coming, but I don't know. You guys ever perform Excel like under pressure? I had never done that before. That is they have those Excel tournaments.
That sounds like a coding interview, man. Like those things,
dude. I was answering emails. The job was...
I've had multiple interviews. It's like 5 hours, and it's just if people would just come in and be hour, and they would just grill me with a random question. I had to like code right in front of them, and then they just be like 30 minutes in, be like, "Now what if you did this?" And I'm like, "Okay, now I gotta change everything and hope it works." And it's tense. Those are rough.
Dang, could they see the screen the whole time? You couldn't like click over to.
Oh yeah, no, it's screen share. It's
jeez, it's brutal.
Yeah, it's tough.
All right, Beast Knights just traded the 26-202 for Algier. What are your thoughts? I have Benson. Yes, they signed Connor again, so we shall see. Still have the 103 at the moment. May or may not try and go big. Yeah, I wonder what Algier price is. I'm going to look up some trades.
I
in
don't
terms
think
of
202 crazy. I do think you're paying a little high just because we don't really know what the role looks like. But there's also the reality that he's just the guy. Because,
there
like,
is,
what is Connor's health?
yeah, if you get the goal line role and like it's enough meaningful early down production, and I think if it was a target for,
I mean, I will say
the
Dynasty
Cardinals?
Daddy trade values. New feature just added on the player pages. It will now choose individual picks if they're available for the recommendations, and it has it between the 112 and the 201. So, I mean, technically, according to the trade values, you made out
True.
well, I mean, with the 202.
Wow. It's right behind Tootin. I guess makes sense. I guess Tootin was pretty low at this point. Yeah, and I think the running backs too. Like if you were purely, and this is not the way you should analyze things. This is like, do not do this. But if you are doing like the running back bet that you would make at the 202 versus Algier, I am betting on Algier for the next 2 years of production.
Oh yeah,
There's just a chance that like there's enough receivers that go in the second that you get an interesting, early second versus Algier, which I think is kind of like a preference thing. So
it's okay
Or
to
could
pay
be.
for production sometimes, but you do also want to be making some big swings.
and you want to
That's where I
know
stand.
that it's production too, because if Tyler
Yeah.
Algier is giving you like what Jalen Warren gave you, Jalen Warren's probably not the best name. Something like that, where it's like what you were expecting to get is like super replaceable with a late second, but that I think we're kind of.
I mean, like last year. I mean, last year I traded
204?
I had two second round picks. I traded one for Chuba, and then the other one I got. I forgot. I think I got Caleb Johnson or something.
Mhm.
So it didn't really work out for me. But that was kind of my bet. I was like, do I take 2 speculative picks? Do I take 1 and then also just trade for a guy that has some sort of role?
Yeah.
I think I don't mind trading the 202. You have other picks. You can take some other shots you want. But, sometimes it's just nice to have a guy that you feel like can be a starter or at least be somewhere on the field when you actually need points.
Yeah. Roster is May, Hall, RB2, which is Demont at the moment, JSN Tat, Waddle, Kraft. Yeah. Yeah. And too, I mean, like I've been dogging on like the more so the mid and late second round of this draft. Like I am a lot more, and I just did it in not really in that Bijan trade, in another trade, using like mid to late seconds to get deals done that are like, this makes this person feel much better about this deal that I like really want to get done roster construction wise. So I'm not going to dog on anybody for you moving an early second for a running back that a team targeted fresh out of free agency.
Yeah.
All right. It's tight end time. It's tight end time. And then it's potty time. My 2 favorite times. All right. Isaiah Likely. And I got the 2 Ravens tight ends up at the top here. The Andrews one is the extension.
The Harbaugh signings.
The Harbaughs, yeah. The Harbaugh,
He dropped $79 million.
Yeah, do you think it was the pay Andrews while he's there so that you can get Likely on the new team? Was that the long game he was playing?
I feel like, do you think he gave him just $1 million more to just like make it like a little bit awkward?
Yeah.
Like that 2025 Ravens group chat is going to be like, ooh, like I guess dinner's unlikely.
That's funny. All right, this is how excited are you? Because I think likely there was some potential. There was like Kansas City buzz. So I think in terms of like landing spots, I like no Daniel Bellinger. He followed Dayball to the Titans, but Theo Johnson was like okay for the Giants last year. But I mean, if you're paying 3 years, $40 million, you lose Wandale. I think like the pass catching group, we'll see if they address it. If you get, let's say you don't get a first round receiver for the Giants, and you're looking like they took a shot on somebody in the mid second or something, or I guess they're closer to early, but in the second round they took a receiver. How excited are you for the likely spot?
Omar Cooper.
Let me put
But yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of it's kind of a bargain bin wide receiver value if you think about it.
yeah,
Because Isaiah Likely's not really like the blocking type. Like he's someone that's going to be utilized
right.
more in that Wayndell Robinson role. And the fact that Robinson's getting 70 million and you're able to get a guy that can be on the field more, can block better than a wide receiver, but not someone that is
It's not what he's
a
known for.
liability. You know, he can certainly be like a passing threat. I think that's a solid deal, all things considered. I do think we got to have his usage step up, though. I mean, you can't have him be making that money and have the old Andrews Likely type usage. Like, hopefully, he gets a little bit more of a target share in that offense, and he probably will because there's not like a ton of threats at the tight end position or even in the wide receiver room. Outside of Neighbors, it's kind of, I mean, Darius Slayton, which somehow got the biggest contract ever, but
It's like 3-year, 36 or
he
something.
got the
2 years
Saquon
ago.
contract.
You do have Neighbors coming back for the injury. We'll see what the offense looks like, but I mean, anytime I get a little extra excited when it is familiar name being brought in from a coach and it's a decent sized contract for a new coach for a team. So yeah, I think real quick, would you rather have Likely or Jake Ferguson?
I'd probably go Likely.
Okay.
I think
I think there's a little bit
situation with
more
the coaching staff
upside in terms of like what Likely's worth if the first 2 weeks of the season he has, 1 touchdown across the 2 games and 6 for 60. Like I think he's carrying a lot of weight.
or Ferguson also only really opens up if Pickens or CD are down.
Yeah.
Because there's just not enough mouths to feed to have him. Like everyone loved Ferguson when he was getting 15 targets a game. And it's like, well, yeah, CD Lamb was out, and it was Pickens and Ferguson carrying the load. And I think here, new offense, coach bringing in his guy, paying him well, expects him to have a pretty solid role.
Yeah. BPA ranking would be interesting based on league settings. Yeah, and this is like 100%. All these Dynasty Daddy site development related questions are Jeremy ones. Like to me, I'm thinking about the way that I utilize. So like when I have weird league settings, a lot of the times I am like doing the work on my. I don't want to say it like this. This is gonna sound like I'm not patronizing. Yeah, it is a little patronizing. I don't mean it like this. Just hear me out, because I think this comment is reasonable and a good recommendation and thought. Yeah, and Jake's. But to me, I am thinking about when I'm in my drafts and I'm going across my leagues and I'm like, oh wait, this was the one that has a small PPC. I pull up, like I'm looking at WAR. I'm taking a look at like what last year comparatively the line charts for fantasy points per game, and trying to pinpoint like my expectations for players and prospects. So like I kind of do the like BPA work in my own mind based on the league settings, like using the site with all the WAR data and charts that are on that on that league format tool. But yeah, any additional thoughts on that, Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something I could certainly make more clear. I will say, if you do want true integrations with league format, you can toggle the fantasy markets and you can use the league infused trade values on the draft board, and that will pull in your exact league settings, your point per carry, all of that, tie it with WAR, and update the draft board based on what positions matter based on your format. So while it doesn't technically say this is BPA, you can kind of sort it based on that.
Yeah.
And I can certainly make it kind of more visual of like, hey, here's the value based on yada yada yada.
Yeah. No, that's a Jeremy answered that in a much better way than I did.
So you're saying do it myself.
No, these are good recommendations, and I know Jeremy loves even for things that he like can't implement, or there's like a different way that he has to look at it or work around it. I know he loves hearing the recommendations.
It's good to have ideas.
And here in the
sometimes
Discord.
I sit here and I'm just like, what the hell do I do? Like I'm like, what do I do next?
Dude,
there's so many things, and then I get like stun lock. It's like I'm like I need to, but there's like a weird itch in me where I'm like I feel like I have to do something, like I have to do one thing a day. I'm like, I need to do one thing on the side a day.
The player
I
charts
feel
are
like I've had something.
the player pages are sick. I like those a lot.
I've been putting so much time into. I'm like, I need those to like look like a grown up site. Before I'm like, they kind of looked a little janky, but I was like, I need those to like look real nice and be something you can screenshot and easily share.
I'm only doing this because I think it is funny that I literally just clicked the first name like when I pulled up the player ranking sheet because I was like, I want to show this.
Crazy.
Man, oh man, look at this. Oh my gosh. Wait, let's take a look at these spike. Oh my gosh, look at these spike weeks. Oh no, I'm just kidding. All right. Sounds very reminiscent of someone who took 2 tight ends first, 2 rounds in a startup in a heavy tight end premium league. Shout out to me.
Yeah, that was you.
Going Trey McBride, Brock Bowers.
The do it myself method.
That's the do it myself method, and that is the anytime I mention winning the Alpha Daddy League, I feel like I need to mention that it was by like literally 0.5 points on Puka Nakua's incomplete catch in the Sunday Night Football game. But regardless,
that was a key catch too in the game.
It was. Yeah.
It was like almost win the game, and then also you're like sweating bullets.
And I'm 1,000% confident that he would have held on to that ball if the defender wasn't there, even though like how difficult it was when he was taken out of bounds.
Yeah.
No, that was shout out to Curtis, shout out to Alpha Daddy, shout out to Dabadoobie. I'll get the repay. It's been my go-to for Dynasty site for the last 5 years. Thanks for continuing to improve and evolve it. Yes,
I appreciate it.
I
do recognize your name early on. Like I think you were in the Discord and I had like 30 people in it.
Let's go. The funniest thing about too, like I don't even think I was in the Dynasty Daddy Discord until like heading into this last season, and it's I think it's a little bit of the way that I've gone about my Dynasty life, and I'm happy that I'm in a Discord.
You got to catch different people. Like I will say, like Reddit. I've been putting more effort into posting on Reddit and building the Dynasty Daddy /Dynasty Daddy, just because you catch people in different ways, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Twitter is like not as good as it used to be in terms of like getting engagement and like kind of like the conversation and growth through that from my experience. But getting people into Discord and trying to make it like kind of like an easy way for me to make updates and get feedback and also post
with
about
the streams,
live stream asks and things like that. Like, I think it's an easy way to kind of organize a community and keep everyone that wants to be plugged in. And then Reddit's been just kind of a big funnel for people finding the site from my original post on Dynasty FF and AM. And now I was like, okay, well, I need to also be able to post all these little things for the people that are, like want to know all the little details I add to the site because I'm constantly adding it. And it's something, it's kind of like that old man that whittles wood in the garage, like this is me whittling wood. It's like I'm
whittle that wood.
After a day of work, I sit down and I pull up my laptop and I'm like, let me just whittle away on the player page or something. Like, let me try to improve it just 1% because it makes me feel better. And then it's also so motivating to have people that actually use it.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's always makes it so much more fun.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your whittling. All right. Final question. I'm calling it because I have to be. What is your rookie draft wide receiver order? At the moment, I'm Tate, Lemon, Tyson third, only due to injury history. I know you've got all these pretty close. To me, I think I have them close enough. I know I've been a big like Tate Lemon 1A, 1B. But I do think that it would not surprise me at all if like the Jordan Tyson buzz builds enough and I am hit with some very difficult conversations with myself in the mirror when he gets an awesome landing spot in like the early mid first round. So I think it's going to be very landing spot dependent, but at the moment I have that order as well. I think Tate Lemon Tyson.
Yeah. I mean, I think Lemon was sneaking up, right? Like I think
I love Lemon.
And then like pre-combine, people were really starting to get on the Lemon train. I think after his weird interview drama, he kind of fell back down. I would put in I would put it in the same order. I think that's kind of the consensus right now. But my mentality is they're all in the same tier. Whatever plus I can get, I'm going to go with that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do agree that the injuries history is concerning. I do kind of believe I'm by no means a pro level scout of any level. I kind of just believe that Tyson is. I mean, I think he's the bargain, but I mean, like pre-injury, he was the wide receiver one, pretty solidly. Now, obviously, didn't play well, injured, limited tape, played really well. I think they're all in the same tier. But like you said, I mean, Tyson could totally be someone that we look back and we're like, how dare, like, I can't believe he fell that far. It'd be like the Jamar Chase, like he can't catch balls in the preseason, and you're like, why would I even worry about that?
Yeah, I need to watch Tyson closer. And this is a little, this is not the outro I want to give. We'll see if I can get through these humble genius rankings, prospect evaluation stuff. It might just end up being like the work I've done enough on the top prospects to have like a rookie draft rankings overall versus like full on prospect scores and like all the information. Cause when I do post stuff, like when I end up doing that, I do want all the information to be there. Like I want people to see what college dominator like stats I'm using, like values and everything with that versus just me putting a point value to a player without any understanding of how that point value came to be. With that being said, Lemon, I think is awesome against zone. There's some size questions, like how dynamic he is at his size. I think that people don't give him credit for being like a yak monster. I think because of like the top end speed questions, but I think when he gets the ball, he just turns into like a running back. And maybe not in the way that it's like a running back that is, you know, Bijan speed and, you know, cutting and breaking tackles left and right, but just in terms of like getting upfield. Like Yak, he has a Yak mission. He's really good against zone. Tyson, I want to watch closer because I've like seen some stuff with like giveaways on routes, but yeah, we don't need to do the wide receiver analysis, full breakdown 2.5 hours in when Willis to P because you're not going to get a good breakdown. But appreciate you all watching. Jeremy,
so Charlie Kohler.
Yeah, he needs to be on the graphic. I don't know if we're gonna spend a lot of Charlie Kohler time. I think the Kate Otten getting re-signed, I think is interesting. Kelsey another year. The Pitts franchise tag. The Charlie Kohler, like, I think with heavy personnel stuff, it doesn't surprise me at all when these like really good blocking tight ends get massive contracts. It's
also a bit of an insurance policy too of a cheaper offensive tackle guard help given the health concerns of that offensive line to be like, you might just have him kind of lined up as a tight end, but more just assisting blocking if they get into a situation where that offensive line is just trash again.
I mean, then this was a team that brought in Will Disley and Tyler Conklin just before last season. So you get the Knox extension, but that's more, I think, of a cap restructure thing. And then Kate Otten, Stan. I think Kate Otten is like one of those tight ends don't matter, so I'll have Kate Otten be my tight end. But had some solid production games without Mike Evans, but I'm just not. I'm not going to be too excited about that. With the
Knox extension is just money related because he had a ridiculous contract.
Yeah, the cap restructure to save some money over the next couple seasons. Bellinger is interesting. Like obviously, I just talked about like when the coaches come over, bringing in guys, but I think Gunnar Helm is pretty good. So I don't think Daniel Bellinger.
I also picked him pretty high.
Yeah. All right. Any other?
I'm not too worried about Bellinger.
Tight end thoughts, notes before the hit.
I will say before the season or before free agency, we talked about Kyler's landing spot. He's kind of the last big domino to fall. Where do you think Kyler will end up?
All right. The one thing I did do, if I messed up some of the numbers, I did get Kyler, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Vikings. Some question marks there with Kirk and Rodgers. I do think that Kyler Vikings makes a lot of sense. Steelers is kind of tough because we'll see. Aaron Rodgers says that he's going to make a decision, right? He said it's going to be soon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Last year, what was it? Was last year the ayahuasca trip and the NFL draft?
He just doesn't want to go to OTAs.
Yeah. We'll see.
He's just like, I don't want to do that. I'm too old for that.
We'll see, because I think the Steelers is kind of an interesting spot just with what that offense will look like. And like, I think Kyler would function well there. But yeah, I think Vikings makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I hope the Vikings. I just, like this is not great analysis.
I'll let you go full screen for this then, so I'm not here with it.
Vikings, beautiful dome, AC controlled arena. He can air it out. Great offensive scheme. Pittsburgh, it's going to be cold. It's outdoors. Like, it's like a steel city. Like, I don't know if Kyler is someone that kind of fits that vibe. Like, Aaron Rodgers definitely is someone that's like, people in Pittsburgh aren't always the biggest fan of. But, like, you're telling me Kyler Murray, like, his type of style of play, I'm like, I don't know if I see him winning over the city of Pittsburgh unless he pulls a Sam Darnold and revitalizes his career. But if I was him, I'd be like, let me just go to Minnesota. That makes more sense. I have a coach that I believe in from a modern offensive stance. Not that McCarthy's
Justin
bad,
Jefferson, Jordan Addison.
You have a lot more to work with. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Kyler can't play in the cold.
They're going to take Jeremiah Love. They're going to trade up and take Jeremiah Love.
Dang. Yeah, where's the real quick? This is the actual. I know we've done like 4 real quicks, but I think it is important to do post free agency. Okay? Because I do think that we got some clarification with specifically the Saints and the Chiefs at 8 and 9. Obviously, you're not expecting massive contracts to Kenneth Walker and ETN and then adding Jeremiah Love to the backfield. I've said it before. And Algier to the Cardinals as well. I think it doesn't remove them, but I think it makes it a little bit weirder for that pick to happen. So I think Titans are still there. The Giants have been getting a lot of running back buzz. And then the Commanders at 7. Where do you think Jeremiah Love goes? Or does he fall even further? Because that's the other thing. If he does not go in these top 8 or these top 9 picks, there is a plethora. I think we start entering trade up potential.
Yeah, I mean, where do the Vikings pick?
18.
18. I think if any team's really going to want to trade up, it'd be like the Vikings. I think they're the team. Like, they cut Aaron Jones. Not that Aaron Jones is anywhere near the player that Love is now.
Yeah.
But like, they got Mason right now, and and they're not biting on any of these. They didn't get any of the big free agents. Like, I think the Vikings are the one team I could see trading up. I could also see like the Titans, the Giants.
Yeah.
Just saying, like, I'm just going to roll with that. I mean, even something like the Cardinals, I guess the Cardinals signed a running back. I was trying to think of other top teams that didn't pick a running back, but I think those are probably the teams I could really see and the Commanders.
Yeah.
But it'd be a lot to probably trade up to get that. So I still don't think the Vikings will do it, but that's kind of where I hope. I'm hesitant. Like, I feel like if you're a team and you saw the Ashton Genty situation and you're like, okay, my team's bad. Like, why am I just spending a pick on like a guy? Like, we know good running backs can do amazing things, but it's also good running back in a bad situation. Their job's almost impossible.
Yeah. Yeah. No team thinks they're bad though, except maybe the Jets. You think the Jets and the Browns might know that they're bad.
They have to be cursed, man. They're like the Hornets of the NFL, man.
Yeah. My hope for honestly, for a lot of people's sake, specifically Scat, maybe Love a little bit too, is that the Giants.
I think he's going to the Giants.
Oh man, my hope was that the Giants running back buzz was the long game, to where they're like, yeah, we're like really want to add a running back in free agency. Oh, we're really interested in Jeremiah Love, and then they're on the clock at 5, and they're like, who wants him? Like, come and get him, guys. You see these highlights? This guy's...
I could see them like try it out, but you also got to think it's a new coach.
Yeah.
Right? So he's not going to be like into all the Scat injury commitment. Like,
they brought back Singletary.
Be...
maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend like that moves the needle.
I also think like you said, like they were in on. There's rumors that they were in on so many different guys But I'm like, you're probably gonna bite. You're probably gonna bite on someone, and maybe it is just
Yeah.
like, oh, we're gonna get Sean Tucker or Sean White or something, or it's gonna be like we're gonna go out and get, the flashiest guy we can get.
Yeah. And
But
maybe
hey,
it's the
it
scat
was
injury
under
is,
Bijan and Love team.
yeah. That's why I got Bijan, man. Bijan is like scoring 2 running back ones, right? I don't even need Jeremiah Love to get a good landing spot.
It's like Malik Neighbors times 2.
Yeah, exactly. With all right. That was a perfect outro to end on the one last dig at the Bijan trade. Shout out to Tricky Trev.
That took over the stream.
All right, appreciate you all.
It railed it.
Sub to the channel, join the Discord link in the description, and stay tuned to the channel. We will be having a post combine rookie mock. I was gonna say coming soon. I have to tell Jeremy that I'm working on the video editing and I'm doing my best. Right after the stream. So stay very tuned. But sub to the channel because that is not landing spot. So we did do the 3-round mock off of Chad Ridgers, and that turned into, I think, a little bit of let's analyze this spot with the player a little bit for draft capital. But no landing spots, pure post combine mock draft. We went 2 rounds on this one as well. So it's a juicy one, or will be a juicy one when I finish it. All right. Any other outro notes, Jeremy, or did I absolutely rail the outro there?
You railed the outro. I mean, honestly, I have nothing to add.
Nice. Heck yeah. All right. Appreciate you all. We'll see you next Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, or earlier in the Discord. I will be posting the David Montgomery Witherspoon truck stick shortly.
Can't miss it.
Stay tuned.
Miss it.
Appreciate you all, and peace